Technically, at least 2 people have been alive for a little bit.
That is also true.
Okay, I wasn't,
Granted,
so
I've
it's
just been
setting
on the
things
start
up.
screen this whole time,
No, I
so
was just saying.
no one's heard a word. At least not on my end.
Yeah, me neither.
Is it time to switch my screen?
It
It is time.
It is time.
Simba, it is time. Is it the in-game screen that I'm looking for? Yes, it is.
There we go. Now we got all 3 in shirt chat. No, why it was only doing one. Weird. Fixed.
You know, it's moments like this when I realize that I might be a little silly. Because I'm seeing the logo over Cyrus's usual spot, and for a second I thought it was a necktie.
Oh, and then Hun.
No, that's the Camarilla Ankh.
And remember when I went over.
My uncle.
Your uncle Vlad.
I get it. It's clever. Uncle Vladimir.
Laddie.
Okay, so
Lad the lad.
Yep.
Alright, we should probably switch back to push to talk now, shouldn't we?
probably, because I'm about to go ahead and roll things off now.
Ah,
But for a refresher for each of us, and also for the people who may have gotten kind of annoyed with how off the wall things got and skipped the last episode if you were over on YouTube, I greatly apologize. Hopefully that won't happen again in anytime soon. We had started combat and just started a fight. Abby had snuck into the warehouse of the guy and attacked him while he was on the stairs, triggering a bunch of stake traps, and neither of them got staked, but they did take a bit of damage. Also, hold on, I'm noticing the reactives aren't going off, so just a sec. There we go. Now they should be working just fine. We are missing a Cyrus today. He wasn't feeling up to it. A lot been going on, so we'll see him again next week, hopefully. That being said, how I'm going to play it out is... Oh shoot, wait, what was I gonna do? I had a brain fart. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with he got stuck by the entrance. Oh yeah, he while running up to try to help got triggered a trap and is currently stuck in a net. Just like up against the ceiling.
He is pinata.
ah.
Yeah.
So that
I
is
guess
how...
we'll get him out later.
Yep, so that is how I'm going to knock him out of commission for the time being. But I did in fact write down what everyone's initiative is, and I already put it down in order. Ray, I'm going to need you to remember you have a -1 dice roll penalty still.
Yep.
And at that, Calvin, you get to start us off.
If we want to do by combat rules, starting with the lowest initiative, you describe what you want to do that round.
That's right. It's the person that goes last that technically goes first.
Person that goes last describes what they're doing because then the person next in initiative would be able to react to that move they wanted to. So, like, I know Abby got an 8. I'm the lowest. I could be like, yeah, I want to punch this guy. And that means since he definitely is going before Abby, if he wanted to, it would be the equivalent of I see the opponent coming at me, I can react to it. So Abby, as lowest initiative, goes, I'm going to punch him in head. And then the guys can go, oh, I know I'm going to get punched in head. I'm going to dodge, because that sucked last time. Kind of thing. So that's why it's the lowest on the order says what they're doing first, which allows the highest on the order to basically react to anybody. Because anyone can abort their action, but it's a you have to roll your dice, and if you fail, you have to basically stick with what you were going to do.
Fair enough. It'll take me a while to get used to that, but we
That's
can do
fine.
that.
That's why you got me.
Yep. So in that case, yeah, Abby would go first.
Well, I described first, but
You describe first. But tell me what you're gonna do.
Abby is going to just essentially do what she did last time. She's going to clamp both hands above her head and is going to drop it down on this guy.
And then next would be Ray. What is it that you're gonna want to do?
Okay. Okay, so if I remember correctly, he's probably in the ceiling.
No, he's through the stairs.
Oh well.
The one that's up on the ceiling is Cyrus.
Hi Cyrus. But the one thing I'm thinking about doing, I can't. Well, it's gonna happen anyways. So I'm going to potentially. Where is my paper? I went to. Oh, that is holy. Where did I place that thing? My brain automatically wants to go to, punching him. But my brain also says drag him across the splinters, if there are any.
I mean, yeah, they're probably not gonna do much to him though.
But it would cause him some type of stabbing damage because they're probably in their skin and won't be able to heal until it's pulled out.
Not necessarily.
Oh well, I'm trying to do. Pearl. I'm trying to find it. But I can do that.
No, his skin is kind of hard, so it wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna do anything.
So punching wouldn't do much either. Understandable.
Punching might
Can
do
I
more than drag him across some broken wood.
I would assume that the warehouse is like completely empty, no chemicals, nothing of the sort.
Yeah, it's pretty much empty. It's been abandoned for a very long time.
Alright, so I'm going to try doing. I'm just gonna punch him. Punch
Okay.
him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean push him if I said push.
No, you said punch. Next would be Favana. What are you gonna want to do?
Well, I assume at this point we can see some of the machinations of the traps and stuff, right? Like we may not be able to decipher what they are exactly, but if there were like a cartoon safe hanging by a thread, we would see it, right?
Not necessarily. Most of them are still very well hidden. It is triggering the trap that makes them more obvious.
Gotcha.
Now, if you want to roll to try to find the traps, you're welcome to. Oh, there's one aspect of this that I forgot that I was going to do that I need to mention.
Okay.
Should you guys move, depending on where it is that you're going, I am going to roll a d10 on a 6 and up. Like it's a base difficulty 6. On a 6 and up, you guys don't trigger anything. On a 5 and lower, something is going to get triggered, and then I will roll another dice to figure out what the trap is.
Ooh, fun. I like that.
Figured I'd
All right.
spice it up because I do have a list of traps that I haven't organized, but I can do that like while things are going on.
I guess I would try to roll to see if there's any traps we could use to our advantage.
Okay. When it gets to your
Um,
turn, you can do that. Right now, it's just
Okay.
naming what it is that you're gonna do,
Right.
and then next would be our Sabat guy. He will dodge, and he's going to try to escape. And with that, now it's Calvin.
Okay, so you said this guy is trying to run?
Oh yeah, he's outnumbered. He's aware if he's outnumbered.
Gotcha. And I can't remember if you said he had a firearm on him or not.
Yes, he does have a firearm on him. He's got like a shotgun.
Okay, so is that like holstered or is he holding it in his hands as he's running?
Oh, he's holding it.
Hmm. Okay, that makes things a little more complicated. All right. Let's see. If he's running, I would like to keep him from doing so, whether that be simply tripping or trying to grab.
So you guys also stayed back to let Abby get the initial surprise attack in.
Right, so
Um,
we all got some distance on him then.
yeah, there's a good like I want to say 10 plus feet between you guys. So it's like not like a super short distance, but you're gonna have to run and hope that this guy doesn't have celerity, let alone celerity higher than yours.
Given the circumstances, that is the best I can hope for. So yeah, I'm gonna try to close that distance and stop this guy from escaping.
I like how many melee people we have. It's kind of amusing to me. Okay. So you are at the top of the initiative. You can go ahead and make the roll. I'm gonna say that you need to make a go to your character sheet so that way Raz doesn't look over here and potentially get spoiled for stuff.
I can't really see the angle here. What is he attempting to do?
Calvin is attempting to trip the guy.
Sweep is a combat maneuver. It is Dex plus Brawl at a plus
They
one.
can't hear you, by the way.
No. Sweep is a combat maneuver that is Dex plus Brawl or melee at if you have a melee weapon equipped that can sweep at a plus one difficulty.
Okay, Dex plus Brawl with +1 to difficulty. So give me a second. So I'm just rolling all the dice at what difficulty?
With plus one, I'm gonna say it's a difficulty 7.
Yeah, because base difficulty in combat is usually always 6 unless there's a special modifier. So if it says plus one, it'll be 7.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That makes me nervous, but hey, that's part of the game.
Remember, willpower is a thing. You can spend one for an automatic success.
And willpower comes back after a rest, right?
You get
After a
one back.
rest, and if you play to your nature.
Gotcha.
Basically, every new night or when you play to your nature.
You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'll go ahead and burn a willpower then, just to do that.
He even used the right
And
term. He said burn a willpower.
so, and I take that I'm still rolling on this, right?
Yeah, you're still gonna roll. because
Got it. So
that just guarantees you one success on top of all the others. The more successes you have, the better the outcome.
And Hun, did you say his action was to dodge?
Yeah, he's gonna try to dodge and run away.
So he could use his dodge to try and dodge his sweep then.
I am so glad I decided to use that willpower because yeah, those are two fails. No botches, but still that's a fail.
And he is going to dodge you as a reaction to try to avoid being tripped here.
Also, I forgot. I'm supposed to add a an additional dice for celerity, right?
Because you didn't, yes, because you didn't use celerity for additional actions, you would have one more die.
And I did a whoopsie.
However, that, yeah, that wouldn't matter in this situation.
Yeah, it's already done now.
Even then, like, he just rolled 4 successes to get
Also
out
a
of the
good
way.
valid point.
Yeah, so you go up there to trip him, and he like scrambles and like jumps over your leg or whatever it is that you try to do to knock him down, um, and is now up on his feet, ready to bolt. Technically speaking, it's still his turn. Your turn.
So that would have been the end of Sketchy's action, and the dodge was in reaction to his action. Now it is the villain's action, and the rest of that would be he's running towards the door.
Yeah, but seeing how I was just making sure that he couldn't go again.
Yeah, so he would basically just get his movement at this point, because his action was already expended to dodge Sketchy's blow.
Yeah, that meant Sketchy having another turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, anyway, okay. So yeah, at that it is now our dude's turn, and he is going to immediately book it. But because there are people at the entrance, he's going back up the stairs.
That poor soul. The stairs are where the. Well, he can't quite see what assailed him because I'm still technically camouflaged, even though it's just like. If anyone's ever watched Predator, it's what the Predator looks like when it's kind of like half cloaked. It's just got like that like bubbly chromatic over it. That's basically what Abby looks like right now. And this poor soul is running back in that direction.
Yeah, but it's either try to dodge the invisible thing or go into a crowd of people that he doesn't know what they can do yet. So he has the better chance here. That being said, he is quite quick on his feet. I don't think I need to roll for him to run.
No, you don't need to roll for him to run.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That will be his turn though, is he's gonna run. I'm not going to immediately have him go anywhere other than like up the stairs because I need to, I want to give you guys a chance to stop him. So, Favana, you wanted to roll to see more traps?
Yeah, I don't think he'd believe us if we yelled, "Hey, we just want to talk."
I mean,
Um,
somebody just threw him through the stairs, so no.
yeah, I think that would be the rational response to, that would be bullshit. Um, yeah, so I guess I wanted to roll to see. Obviously, we know there's some net traps. There's Iris is hanging in one. Though, I guess I just want to roll to see if there's any traps we could use to, like, impair them somehow so that we could catch up.
You want to try to
Don't
trigger
know.
one of the traps to impair him?
Well, either to, like, snare him or impair him so that we could catch up and try to talk to him.
You are definitely welcome to try. Considering everything and you're trying to see ahead because he's running away from you because you're towards the entrance. So his back is to you as he's running. You have to try to see
Right.
past him to see this stuff. So I'm gonna put it at a perception awareness at a difficulty 8.
Oh, dear God. Okay. This is gonna go badly.
I believe in
Oh,
you.
okay.
Oh, look at that. Look!
Oh,
See?
damn.
You almost got successes across the board. The just last one just need to be one more higher. um,
The
So-
dice RNGs has heard my prayers.
they did indeed. Yeah, you look past and you can see ahead of you. It looks like one of those like ankle noose traps. Any other trap that he might be passing by, he knows exactly where they are and he's easily stepping through them. Despite his panic.
I'm trying to think if the prudent thing would be if we could distract him enough by yelling at him or something so he's not paying attention. Or throw something at the trap to try to trigger it.
Which one do you think Fovana has a higher chance in succeeding?
Well, would trying to talk to him and distract him be manipulation?
I would. I could be argued for it, yes. I could be convinced, I guess is the correct phrasing.
All right, give me a second here. Let me figure out what I'm going to yell at him.
That being said, depending on what it is, it's very highly likely it'll be a manipulation performance. Because you're not really. I don't think you're trying to intimidate, you're just trying to distract. Though I guess it depends on what you say.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what to say because I don't know whether it factors in or not. Friends, you have manipulations.
It will factor whether like what ability it is that I'm gonna make you roll. It doesn't matter if what you say specifically is actually like legitimately scary. It's what you are attempting to do that's gonna determine
Oh,
it.
I'm not trying to be scary.
Okay, so then it's probably not gonna be intimidation.
All right. I look at him and yell as seductively as I can while yelling. Hey, big boy, we're here for the party. Is this the wrong address?
um. Okay, so he's running away with no intent to converse with you. This is gonna be another, like, regardless, this was going to be another high difficulty. But I will give you a manipulation subterfuge where you can use your specialty at a difficulty 8.
How do I use the specialty?
So after you put in the amount of dice that you roll plus the difficulty, you will type in what the specialty is.
So it's manipulation plus subterfuge?
Yes, plus your subterfuge. Because technically speaking,
Okay.
subterfuge is used both for lying and also flirting.
All right. So we've got difficulty 8. And then I just type the specialization in there.
Yep, just type out the specialty. Like, obviously, there's got to be a space between the difficulty and what the specialty is. But yeah, you just have to type it out.
Okay. Oof. That hurts.
Okay, I'm gonna make him roll. I'm not sure what yet to see how much he is affected by it. Yeah, I think.
Somehow I think I've become a bard.
Okay, I really hope this doesn't come off like I'm trying to give him the best chance possible, because I'm not. I just gave him really good stats. Because he was supposed to be difficult to fight. Actually, no. You know what? I think empathy probably will work better here. So we'll do that roll instead, which will significantly lower the dice pool that he has to work with. Oof. So he, like, is kind of taken off guard a little bit. Stumbles slightly, but he's still running. But he does stumble, and he's more in the path of said noose, like little ankle noose.
All right.
With that, it's Ray's turn. I forgot. You said you wanted to punch him, right?
Yeah, I want to pummel him to the ground.
All right, so you're gonna have to run after him. Are you gonna be able to catch up? Wait.
He's
I don't know if you're gonna be able to
zooming.
catch up to him.
Give me a caffeinated human, I'll go in human.
Like I said, this boy be speedy. I feel like I don't
Quick, give her
have.
a bottle of espresso.
I don't feel like I have to specify, but I'm going to anyway because I feel like you guys would have figured it out with how fast he's moving. He does, in fact, have celerity. I'm just not gonna tell you at what level. um.
human, but what do I need to roll to catch up to him?
It's going to have to be a dexterity athletics.
I got my papers now. I'm gonna go check how much dexterity my girl has.
Well, you've got really good dexterity. It's your athletics that's gonna hurt here. And this will be a diff 8. Because like I said, 9 actually. Probably diff 9.
And I do have my -1. I might need help with that.
You just roll 1 less dice. So like if you're rolling 4, you'll like if you would normally roll 4, instead you're gonna roll 3. I didn't turn music on. Hold on. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh well, I failed.
Oh no.
There wasn't enough caffeine in that human.
You accidentally got the decaf, human.
Nobody wants a decaf even.
It was a half calf macchiato.
Macchiato.
That noise at the end got me.
Not gonna lie, it just sounded like he was going
Ah.
and like going back to his seat.
And there we go. I fixed it. There's background noise now. My bad, everybody. Yeah. Wait. Now let me look at the. Yeah. No, you did. You're not catching up to him. I apologize. But next is Abby. You wanted to try to smack him on his way up the stairs.
Oh yeah, no. It's Abby's full search and destroy right now. Is he up the stairs or is he on the stairs?
He started off on the stairs because that's where you knocked him down as you guys were on the stairs. He is running his way up and he is moving fast.
That's fine. She's actually not slow herself. She might not have celerity, but she gets some speed with her wing flaps. At flight level 2, I can fly at 30 miles an hour. But yeah, with a strong hit of my wings, that should allow me to close the gap, and then to quote a wonderful being also made of stone-like substance, it's clobbering time.
Okay, I'll let you have the catch up because your wings are quite fast, and I think you would just be able to catch up to him. You'd have to put in a lot of extra effort, I think, to do so. Because of this, I'm going to give you a +1 difficulty to the roll to like reach him to hit him. But yeah, strength brawl with a difficulty 7.
Yeah, and this is not a called shot. I am just going straight clobber, so it'll be bashing damage in the end, but that's fine. Time to play a little whack-a-mole. 1 still means I hit.
Alright, you hit, and you roll damage?
Yes. So I had no overages, so this is going to be straight strength. I will pop off a blood point to make my potence automatic, so at least a guaranteed 2 damage. And then I'll roll my strength at difficulty 5. Does this count as vicious?
Yeah, I'll let it count as vicious.
So then it's space, and then I type in the specialty. So that is 7 bashing damage as Abby rips forward up the stairs with a flap of her wings, and then her fists balled up into one giant knot right into his side. And how this works is he will roll soak, and then you half the damage rounded down.
Which is stamina.
Stamina plus fortitude, diff 6.
Man, if only he had a specialty.
That was 7 minus 3 is 4. He takes 2 bashing damage.
That's not lethal?
No, because that wasn't a cold shot to the head. That's why I halved it. So 2 bashing. However, that does push up the chart with the rest of the damage he has. So, unless he had tried to heal this turn, which he would have had to have made a roll to heal and take an action, he is at 6 damage, which is very bad.
Wait, does it get rounded down?
Yeah, so I did 7, because I spent that blood point for the automatic potence. And then he soaked 3 of it, taking it to 4. And then halved it, taking it down to 2.
Okay, so he's at 4 damage.
Well, he was already at 4 damage from her initial strike.
No, I think when I rounded that down, I only gave him 2.
No, when she power slammed him, that was a headshot. That was lethal.
So it's 4 lethal?
That attack at the end of last game session that she had did to him, that was lethal, because I made a cold shot to his head.
Yeah, you did 4 lethal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this was 2 bashing.
Yeah, he wants to get out of here. Remind me what the minuses on the health chart do.
So, your wound penalties affect your dice pools and your initiative. So, if he is in fact at crippled, he is at -5 for everything except for willpower and virtue rolls.
Okay.
This does affect his current initiative, because initiative doesn't get re-rolled between rounds. Just any modifiers just get tacked on.
I'm
Based
glad
on
I
what
didn't
wound
change
penalties
whatever
are.
dice number he had then. So he just goes down the initiative order?
Yeah. If the wound penalties are enough to drop him down, he will fall down in the order. And that applies for everybody.
Okay. With that, that's the end of your turn?
Yep, that is the end of Abby's turn.
Alright, with that, he's now last in the initiative order. Once again, he's going to make a break for it. He'll spend some blood to heal himself.
So, if he intends to act while healing, he has to make a wits survival check. It's either like diff 6 or 7. If he succeeds in the check, he gets to heal and then take his action. If he fails in the check, he still gets to take his action, but the blood is wasted and he doesn't heal.
And that's with the minus.
Yes.
Jeez.
It's specifically written in the book that healing is like a relaxed thing, and if you're trying to do it in a hurry, it's a pretty hard roll.
He's gonna burn willpower.
That is, in fact, something he can do. At that point, you don't really have to roll because you just need one success for it to work.
Does that get rid of lethal or just the bashing?
Okay, so actually, I need to figure out which gets healed first, because then it's a 1-for-1 basis. I don't know what his ability to spend blood is, and then that will actually only happen on his turn, though, when it comes to his action, though.
Okay, that's true, but still.
Yeah. Give me a second to look in the book.
Because he's but that is right. He's not doing that yet, but that is what he is going to do. And he's going to still make a break for it, but this time turning to jump out a window. And then when it comes to his turn, Silvana, because I haven't forgotten, I'll make him roll to see if he trips the thing. Since you had one success over him, I'll put him at yet another minus difficulty. He's going to be working with some cripples, so there's a decent chance.
Okay.
Or a +1 difficulty.
Okay, so it's you spend 1 blood point to heal either a bashing or lethal, so it is his choice which wound he wants to heal up first.
Wait, he's gonna get rid of a lethal.
Yeah, lethal does bring him closer to aggravated, which is, the bad damage. But yeah, so it is a 1-for-1.
Would that get rid of the dot altogether? If I get rid of the lethal, like that's just healed?
Yeah, so 1 blood point is spent, and then one of the lethal wound boxes would go away, basically dropping the track down.
Okay, so he would go from, like, in this case, crippled, just up to mauled.
That is correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that cleared out completely. But yeah,
Yep,
that's
it'll just drop until he's, not hurt anymore.
yeah, that's gonna be his turn, and then after, but for that, Abby.
Abby, at this point, having heard the rib crack under the weight of her blow, and now seeing he's slightly slowed and her feet are on the same floor as him, is going to go for the tackle. Everyone, Abby's going freight train mode.
All right, Ray. You're gonna be able to catch up to him now. I'll be honest with you.
Yay!
There's a pretty decent chance. So what is it that Ray is gonna want to do?
Okay, so I'm thinking about Tian.
Do what?
Like making her fingers become giant claws.
Oh, Protean?
Yeah, Protean.
Okay, so you want to turn your fingies into claws?
I want to turn my fingers into claws. I want to turn them into giant claws.
And that's actually reflexive, so you can make an attack with them as well.
So yeah, that's gonna be strength brawl. Plus Protean adds the dice to the roll.
Okay, so popping claws. Actually, let me read the power first, because I think it adds something.
I mean, I can also check because I have it pulled up. I just didn't know if you knew offhand.
Protean is strength +1. It uses Dex Brawl, and it doesn't add anything to the accuracy to hit, so it's just going to be a straight Dex Brawl diff 6. And then, should you make contact, it is ranked +1 plus overage successes of aggravated damage because gangrel claws are some of the nastiest things to walk the night.
Wait, which one's worse, aggravated or lethal?
Aggravated is the worst type. Aggravated can kill.
You would think lethal would be the one that would kill, not aggravated.
Lethal can kill humans. Aggravated is for supernatural creatures.
Okay.
So like how there's a difference between awareness and alertness, there's lethal and aggravated. Lethal to vampires is really a joke. It's pretty much the same as bashing damage. That's why it can be healed on a 1-for-1 basis.
Oh, I thought that was like a next level for them. So I've been marking these weird.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it goes
so-
line, X, star. Star is the aggravated damage.
Is X just lethal then?
Yes. And lethal, like, lethal gets you close to being killed, but aggravated is the only way to kill a vampire.
Gotcha. Okay. So lethal will just torpor, aggravated will dust.
Bashing can also torpor, but it takes an exceedingly large amount of bashing because it's halved every time.
Okay. So yeah, you're just gonna attack it with your claws. Do note that activating it while it is reflective, it does spend a blood point. I did read that.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, I'm gonna erase 1 blood point.
Don't do it
And-
just yet because your turn hasn't come around yet.
And this could end before your turn.
Yeah, because
Okay.
technically, if any of our faster characters knock him out, then you don't have to take that action. So your turn, you'll spend it when your turn happens, and you go to do the business.
Okay, so what do I have to add? Like, I know protein, I need to add that. I
Right
also heard
now-
brawl and dexterity.
Right now, nothing yet.
I just want to know when my time comes because I was
Well,
getting a little
Don't worry,
confused.
we'll tell you. Right now, this is just declaration phase.
Okie dokie.
But before Ray, it would be Favana. What are you wanting to do?
Well, right now I want to hit the right button on my foot pedal. He's not looking at us at all right now, right? He's trying to book it, get out that window, right?
Yeah, he's trying to get out. He's trying to escape.
So he's not looking towards us. Ah. Okay. A lot of damage to the stairs he's on.
Well, he's past the stairs.
Um,
There's big old like hole like in the middle. It's
Mhm.
small enough with some footing that you could probably like jump around it, and I won't make you roll for it in the moment. I mean, I guess I could make you do a
I guess-
dexterity athletics roll to get.
Well, my
Threw it
question of it
around.
is, like, he's still on the stairs, right?
No, he's past the
He's
stairs.
still making his way up.
He's in the hallway now. But like
Oh,
it's a
he's in the hallway
direct
now.
it's
Oh,
a
okay.
direct upstairs. That's where
Gotcha.
the noose trap was in the hallway of the
Gotcha,
second
gotcha.
floor. That's why he was gonna turn and jump out the window on his turn.
Gotcha. Shoot. Is he within sight?
Yeah, you can still see him.
If I
I'm
yelled out,
assuming
"Hey."
that you guys have been running to try to keep up. So you're at least
Mhm.
like at the base, if not at the middle of the stairs.
I would say this. This is what my plan would be, but I don't know if it's just one action. I guess I would try to yell hey to see if I could get his attention to look at me. And if I could get him to look at me, I then try to use Dominate to stop.
That being said, oh, I forgot to do this for Ray when she was running forward. Hold on. I'll give Abby the pass because she was flying, so it was much less likely to trigger a trap. But I need to roll for the trap for Ray.
Also, Abby still knows where everything in the building is.
Alright, Ray did not trigger a trap.
How did I manage to do that?
The dice were in your favor. Like I said, if I roll a 6 or higher, that means you do not trigger. You succeeded to not step on a trap or there was not a trap there. But a 5 or
Jesus
lower would have
found you
caused you
favorable.
to trigger a trap. And I rolled an 8, so you didn't trigger a trap.
Yay?
So, Pavana, if you're running forward, I will end up making another roll.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would have to run forward to get his attention and yell, hey, right?
Yeah, potentially. And I'll do that
Yeah.
once it's your turn.
Okay.
Is that all
Yeah,
you're
so
wanting to
that's
do
my
is
plan,
just
I
try to
guess.
yell and distract them and hope that you can get eye contact with them?
Yeah.
Alright. That leaves Calvin. What are you doing, bud?
That's the tricky part because Cal is aware that the floors have been rigged. This man ran across the floor, so I'm not entirely sure what I can do without potentially setting off a trap. You know what, YOLO, I'm gonna try to go after him. Like, just gonna try to go after him, see if I can clock him.
You're just gonna run up and punch him?
I mean, I don't have much else I can really do to him at the moment.
Okay.
This is
Go.
turning into a JoJo meme.
Go ahead and make a strength brawl. Meanwhile, I'm going. Well, first I'll roll to see if you trigger a trap. I'm gonna delete that. I accidentally typed in 8 dice instead of 1. Regardless, that would have been an amazing roll. I'm sorry.
Triggered none of the traps.
A trap was triggered.
Ooh, here comes the fun part. Alright, let's see what I get caught up in today.
Alright, so the thing that triggers is for you and everyone else behind you. Bunch of strobe lights start going off, blinding and disorienting you, which is going to add 1 difficulty to whatever roll that you do.
Gotcha.
And then
I
add
bet that
probably multiple for, I'll figure out in a moment, but multiple for any perception-based rolls.
I take it this doesn't phase the runner, does it?
No, because he's ahead.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm still gonna try to hit him.
Okay. So that is
Alright.
going to be a strength plus brawl at a difficulty 7.
Alright, so no celerity being slapped on it since it's strength based, right?
Well, if you're just punching, 2 hit is Dex plus Brawl.
Gotcha. So would I be able to add celerity to that then?
Yes, celerity gets added to every Dex based roll.
Gotcha. I forgot to say 7 or 8 as the difficulty.
7. Also, I love
Gotcha.
how you keep doing brawl attacks, and you're not a brawling character.
What else
Yeah,
am I supposed to do?
you're about to get taken to Abby's gym, and you're going to be taught how to throw a punch.
What am I supposed to do? Just bat my eyelashes at this man?
You have more dots and firearms than you do brawl. You have more darts
That's
than
what I
melee
tried.
than you have brawl.
Yeah, look, my first thing was going to try to take the gun from him, but if he firmly had that in his hands, then I assumed I was going to have to wrestle him for it.
We need to get you a weapon. You could have been like, is there a weapon laying around that I could try to use?
Don't worry, you'll get a gun after this.
Find a steel pipe or something.
That is something I was
Galvin
kind of curious
class
about. I
lead
forgot to
poisoning.
ask.
It's fine. Make your strength or your dexterity brawl. Okay. You do hit. There's no overture for damage though. So now it's a strength plus brawl. Right?
That is correct. Well, no, this is damage. It is just your strength.
Okay, so just
Plus
flat
any
strength.
overages.
So just flat strength. You don't have any overage. So
So am I still keying something like I know that technically difficulty doesn't factor into it since one success is one hit. So would I still just be keying in some random number for it?
no, you're rolling just your flat strength at base difficulty 6. Because this is the damage for the roll. Alright, so you did no damage. You hit him, but it's like a little pat on the back. He barely felt it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just weren't quite, like, you're not used to fighting, and he's looking really hurt, and there's still that human part of your brain that looks at him and is just like, I feel really bad about this, so you, like, last second hold back. That's how we can roleplay it as. If that's to
take it.
your satisfactory.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
Alright, so Fovana, you wanted to try to make eye contact with him?
Yeah.
So within the fray, I'm going to be honest with you, within the fray of everything going on, he's got 3 people around him. This is not going to be an easy roll.
Yeah.
So you can make a manipulation.
As you are contemplating the second half of the roll, she is technically trying to do 2 actions because she also wants to dominate him at the same time. So that would split the dice pool.
Gotcha.
So
I wasn't necessarily counting yelling as an action.
well, the action is trying to get his attention. She's trying to force eye contact.
Okay. Okay. So manipulation. We'll say subterfuge. So that would split it in half?
So what happens now is we look at the dice pool for both actions she wants to do. So we would need to figure out what dominate ability she is trying to use.
Just command.
And I believe that does have a roll associated to it.
Yeah, that's a manipulation plus intimidation roll.
Okay, so we look at the 2 dice pools that she has and we choose the smallest one.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think they're the same.
They're both the same.
Okay. That makes that easy, and then it gets split in half. And a
That
half
doesn't
is
make
used
it
for
easy.
each. Is it an odd number?
It's a-
I think it's
Three
half
and a
rounded
half.
down.
Well, so that just means one of those dots gets to be put wherever she wants to increase the dice pool on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like you don't lose the dot; it just goes. So like if she had 7 dots in it, it would go 3 in one, 3 in the other, and then you would have that one dot where she'd be allowed to put in either of the pools.
So where do you want to put that extra dot?
Well, I guess let me ask this too and confuse it even more. How would I apply a willpower to this if I wanted to?
You could apply a willpower. That doesn't add a dice, that just guarantees one success.
And you can only spend 1 willpower per turn. So you choose which of the 2 pools you want to willpower.
Hmm. I feel like I would take the 4 for the get the attention, 3 for the dominate, and add the willpower there.
Also, you can figure out like the difficulties of each roll because the dominate difficulty is not going to change really. The hardest part is going to be getting his attention and locking eyes.
Yeah, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, that's probably going to be a solid difficulty 9 because of the fact he's surrounded and he's focused on escaping.
Okay. So maybe I reverse it.
Yeah, and the difficulty for your dominate roll is equal to his current willpower. So that's just going to be a flat. But yeah, my recommendation is the willpower to get his attention.
Okay.
I do like this plan. This is an absolute dominate move right now.
Okay. Though. What? Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, come on, Scuff.
She
Wow,
just has
Scuff
to
is
speak
going
in multiple... She just has to speak in multiple paragraphs.
Why are you going again? Okay.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
She just had so many insults that she could do that she had to do it.
I guess so.
She's like, hold on. I got so many ideas. Let me get through
I got another
them.
one, yeah. Are you done now, Scuff? Can we continue? Okay, great. What do I need to... So I'm using 3 and a willpower to get the attention.
Yep, they'll guarantee 1 success. That's a manipulation, so 3 dice. And if you get successes, remember difficulty 9. If you get enough successes, it just adds to it. So 1 plus 3, so you could have a max of 4 successes.
Okay.
All right, so 3. You have 3 successes.
Okay.
I will say that you got his attention because he's going to have to make a roll against being dominated.
Okay.
I just gotta remember what that is.
Well, he doesn't roll to avoid getting dominated. She'll roll hit, and her difficulty is his current willpower.
Okay.
So basically, she just launched out some insults. He got distracted enough, turned around, and then now it's like a split second of, oh shit, did I just fuck up? As she would roll versus his current willpower.
Yeah, I guess I would just yell at him.
Hey, fuck what?
I imagine that would get his attention.
So difficulty 6.
All right. Oof.
That dang one.
Well,
Also, wait, hold on. Generation matters with Dominate too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Now, she wouldn't necessarily know this because none of us know what his generation is. Vampires of a lower generation than you cannot be dominated by you. But that's not anything we would have any information on.
Yeah. It's a really stupid rule, I think, but you know.
That said, we can, if we really want to, this is one of those things that, and it's going to sound gross coming out of my mouth, that V5 had improved on. That there are contested roles of trying to target somebody of a lower generation than you with Dominate.
And I like that better. For now, we're going to stick to this, and I'm going to try to figure out what the contested role for stuff is for future.
Yeah, because all in all, no successes on the roll anyway. He wouldn't have been dominated regardless of his generation.
But I'm throwing that out there, so that way people in the future, if you guys find that I'm doing something different, this is why. It's because I think it's stupid that you can't dominate people of a lower generation. Especially since you're required to start at 13th gen.
I feel like the reason why White Wolf had put that rule in there is so that parties wouldn't go around trying to twist every one of the storyteller's NPCs to their will, and then the storyteller would have to figure out how they were going to snap out of that. And they probably just didn't think of, oh, contested role would have worked.
Which is why I'm putting a contested role. But, anyway. So, that failed. It was a great try. A for effort.
so basically, I just yell,
Stop.
but like, it comes out as a squeak.
I was
And it
like, hey
completely
you,
ignores me.
stop! And whenever you, like, make that eye contact, but you're just like, nope, didn't work, didn't feel connection.
Yeah.
You yell, stop! And he's like, hey, John.
Bum, ba, da, bum.
Ray,
Yes.
you were wanting to punch him again? With your claws?
Well, if it's technically punching, it would be scratching or punching. Because if I punched him, the claws are going straight through my hand.
You would still be using a brawl roll, so while it's you're not punching with a fist, it's gonna use brawl, because you're still fighting with your bare hands.
Now all I can see is my girl just impaling this dude is technically a punch, but I know it's scratching, so what do I need to use for the rolling of the dice?
Dexterity brawl. I should have made you use dexterity brawl the last time. That's my bad. I would say your specialty can work here. Because the protein, that's only going to work towards damage, right?
Oh, yes, the claws only affect damage.
Yeah, so dexterity brawl.
Could lightning reflexes work
Yep.
with it?
I did say that your specialty here would work.
Yay!
And then don't forget you would now spend that blood point for your claws.
Yeah, now spend the blood point. Also, remember you're at a -1 for the dice pool.
Yeah, I'm just doing some math.
Just making sure you remembered so you didn't roll too many.
That's okay. Do I also add Prothean to that dot thing? I want to make sure before I do.
No, that
Map.
would get applied to your damage afterwards, and you don't apply Protean. Basically, the claws give you a +1 to your damage dice pools. But it does not affect your accuracy strike. It is just your dex plus roll.
Okay. What's the difficulty on it? I want to make sure.
Base 6. Although,
Thank
because Sketchy did trigger the... you were ahead of him, so I won't say that triggered for you. It would have mostly triggered for Calvin and Fovana. But Fovana wasn't going to get another difficulty added on for yelling. Maybe for making eye contact, but not for yelling.
Okie dokie. Dang.
That's all with. You go to scratch him, and nah, you missed.
I want to voice act this, okay?
Yeah, go for
I'm gonna get you.
it. Love it.
But
Oh,
Alright,
I should have also rolled to see if you trigger a trap.
What is the trap roll?
She rolled it.
A trap was in fact
Ouch.
triggered. Also, 1 and 10 doesn't mean anything here. It's just what order on the list it is. 1 doesn't mean it's inherently worse or better for you. Okay, so here's what we'll say it was, okay? This actually works out quite well for this roll, to roleplay it, because the trap that you triggered was simply like an alarm trap. It was a bunch of loose metal panels. So they slipped from under your feet and made you lose your balance for a moment. I wouldn't have had it affect this roll either way, since initially it was just to make noise. But for thematic roleplay purposes, it made you lose your footing a little bit. And now,
She's trying to move. Everybody sees and hears is just after the I'm gonna continue. It's
the really loud clang as you fall down. But now it's Abby's turn.
Yes. Now it is time. So Abby, having basically a three-dimensional map of where everything is, I would like to just basically line her up with him so that she could run a straight path and not trigger any traps. If you think that is feasible with her active power.
So, it's not that it's not feasible with the power for you to technically be able to do that. It's more along the lines of the traps are so sporadically placed, there's not a clear path.
Well, how far away? Actually, he's probably right. in
You
front of
guys
her.
are close enough
Yeah.
that as long as he doesn't move any further, she should be able to get to him without triggering another trap anyway. But, just to go across the hallway, there's not really a way to
Okay,
do
but
that.
because she's acting before him, she's not going to trigger anything walloping him.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to
Yeah, you're right on top of him, so...
I'm going to eat a blood point to buff my strength, taking it to a 6 for the rest of this scene. And then all he's going to hear is, "Choo choo, motherfucker!"
What are you doing?
Cackle.
Okay.
And this is a strength-based combat maneuver.
So, the other question I have, are you just trying to tackle him to the ground, or are you trying to tackle him into that noose? Because you would know of it, that it's there. This one's obvious enough that you would have been able to figure it out. Pavana saw it. he was in the direct path of it because she did manage to distract him enough to get him to swerve into the path of it. Are you trying to tackle him down, or are you trying to get him in his own trap?
Officially, I'm trying to tackle him into torpor by just overloading him with a shit ton of damage. However, tackling him into the noose trap is also optimal, since a part of tackle is to also knock down. Yes. Endgame is to put his ass to sleep. Secondary is to put him in the trap, so it is exceedingly easier to put his ass to sleep.
Okay.
And
But I need you to tell me which one, because I will count it as a called shot, since you're like shoving them in a specific direction, and it's a small space.
Then I'm just going
It's
to...
going to be easier than like hitting in the head, because I'm going to lower the difficulty anyway. But like before, it would have been like a 5. Let's just back up to a 6.
Oh, so you're saying tackling him into the trap would only be a diff 6?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I said, he's like in the path of it.
So that's just a normal hit then.
Yeah, I made it more complicated in my brain than it needed to be.
Okay. So yeah, if it's just a diff 6, then absolutely Abby's gonna truck his ass right into this trap.
Okay. Then strength brawl.
That is exactly what it is. It is strength brawl.
Apologies, everyone. I tend to make things harder on myself than I need to.
By the way, since this is strength, does vicious apply to this?
No.
Okay.
While it is strength and you are tackling him down, this doesn't feel like a vicious attack. This feels like it just... Let's finish this.
Okay. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
This
I'm not even going to roll. With the penalty that he has, he would have to roll all 10s, and even then it probably isn't going to be enough. So yeah, you're going to get him.
Alright. So
And-
now damage. So that is 6 carryover.
You might kill him.
Unlikely, because this is still bashing. It still gets halved. And even if there's rollover, everything has to go into lethal before he starts taking aggravated.
Fair enough.
However, if this does cause rollover, that means he will have gone into incap and possibly torpor. This could knock him out.
Isn't it if it goes past incapacitated, he's torpored?
Yes.
Even with just bashing?
Yes, you can
So,
bash.
yeah, you're going to at least knock him into torpor with this.
Well, my damage roll could suck. We'll find out. But,
Your luck is stupid. Just roll.
well...
Backle of Doom.
So I'm spending a blood point, because Abby can do 2 a turn, to make my potence automatic, and then rolling my damage now.
Yeah, he's torpored.
Well, he still rolls for soak. Now, I didn't add my vicious specialty because I didn't know if it applied.
It wouldn't have applied.
So that, disregarding the 1, that is 7, 8, 9 damage. So he gets to roll soak versus 9.
Yeah, at his dice penalty, he's torpored.
Dice penalty does not affect damage or soak pools.
Oh, okay. He's still definitely going to be incapacitated, but we'll see by how much.
So 6 divided by 2, 3 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, he's torpored. You had to go over 1, and even then, I'm still pretty sure that still would knock him down. He was at incapacitated as the only dot he had left. When I said you're gonna knock him out, I meant it.
So everyone just hears choo choo motherfucker and then the crunch of bones as this 5'3" Mack truck just crumples this man.
And he falls into the little noose trap, his ankle getting caught, and he's just dangling upside down, looking bruised and a little bit broken and completely out of it.
And then
Technically, he looks dead.
the
Who ordered
cloaking,
the pinata?
I would say the cloaking on Abby drops long enough, just at the time where she's up there flexing her arms like the gun show.
All right.
Look over
Who
and tell
did
him that's how you do it.
So yeah. Also, is the gun on the floor now?
Oh yeah, no, it's on the ground.
Yeah.
Can we steal it?
If no one else has done so, by the time Cal gets there, I would very much like to grab that and get it out of this man's reach.
I mean, he's torpored. You think back to like the shovel head that made it into your bar, and that Victor had taken down. He looks like that, except far more wounded.
Can I keep the gun?
No, the gun is for the person who needs the gun.
That's true. You do look like you've got some built-in weapons.
Oh yeah.
Get your own
But I
gun
just
show.
want to steal the gun.
Abby, even though like nobody's got a camera on her, she's a little cheese ball and is posing with the new pinata, tossing up the peace sign like she's getting a selfie taken.
All right. We'll told her about modern day. Okay, who did it?
Fuck people professionally. I know about the modern day.
I was just gonna glance at the pinata and say, yeah, see, stuff like this is why we need you around.
Yeah, you saw how I ended up.
Look, I
We
just
all
gotta
will.
put you guys through Abby's intensive training gym. Okay? It can start as early as tomorrow. I can get you all buff.
Ray looks
I'll
at
pass.
the claws that are now her fingers. Yeah, no thanks. I think my claws will be great.
Yeah, if you can hit somebody with them.
My dexterity is good enough. I just had a bad footing.
Good enough, huh? And then she like gestures to the crumpled mass hanging from the ceiling. I think this was all me.
Oh, without
I was just a dumbass. I'm not saying I put it in. I'm just saying I'm a dumbass.
Okay, so we got the guy, but now what?
So now we need to figure out how to transport the body from here to a safe location where we will bind him, force him to wake up, and extract information. The hardest part is going to be getting him out of here. It's a little sus to walk around the Houston streets with a corpse draped over your shoulder.
And we can't really call a ride with this guy.
Oh, wait. No, we might be able to. Hold on. Can I get my Nokia?
Oh, right. Here.
Abby's going to call up the prince.
I feel like we should still try to wrap it in something.
Oh yeah,
Can we
no,
look around, see if there's a
absolutely.
carpet or anything else around?
But also watch out for traps. This whole place is loaded.
Yeah.
True.
You call the prince, and a detail I forgot to mention when you guys met the prince, but he is also a very large Hispanic man that I refuse to do the accent of because I know for a fact he'll just come off really offensive. Yes, Abby.
So, I have stupendous news. Not in regards to me teaching the puppy. That's still kind of rocky. I still don't know why he chose me for that. However, that's neither here nor there. The tremendous news is I caught one of the Sabat that made the shovelhead that attacked the bar. No, not the church. That attacked the church.
Impressive.
However, we need to transport it out, and I don't have a vehicle, nor do I have a location to bind and interrogate. However, he attacked your city. You might want to squeeze him for information.
Can I engrave runes into his skin slowly until he absolutely begs for mercy?
Did you say that out loud?
Yes!
Abby puts her hand over the receiver. No! And then takes her hand off the receiver.
He still absolutely heard all of that, and it's great. It's just maybe slightly muffled. Send me your location. I'll have a car. You can put the body in the trunk.
Excellent. I will text that to you here in a few moments.
Very good. Good work. And
Tell him to bring a ladder. We need to get
I
Cirrus
got the
down.
knife.
I got wings. Taken care of.
Yeah, he's still trapped up there. He's just like, hey guys, we'll help.
I just imagine doing that. He's doing that slow spin like in the beginning of the second or third. It was the third Thor movie, Ragnarok, when he's in front of Surtur.
Probably. Regardless.
Just hold
the
on, we got
spinning
another
around, he's
larger
dangling.
pinata here.
I'll
We got
put you
one
down
that
with
we
my
want to hit
claws.
more. We have a pinata here that we want to hit more than you.
Don't worry, I won't carve runes into you. Abby told me no.
You know
But
what?
yeah, I'll hang up with the prince and immediately text him the location of the warehouse.
That'll take like a solid. Well, I forgot how long it took you guys to get there from.
I think it was 20 minutes.
Like a 20-minute drive. Say it'll take him like an hour because it's like on the other side of the city. And while he's
Yeah.
like kind of in the middle of it, it's still a pretty good drive. Texas is big. But yeah, so it'll take him about an hour. You guys will have to hang around, or at least one of you will have to. Probably Abby, because she's strong enough to move the body.
Abby is also going to be investigating the area. He obviously had an office here, and people usually have documents somewhere. And there's several rooms, including the one that he was cleaning his gun in. After helping Cyrus down, which that would just literally be she would beat her wings to get up to where the rope is and just rip it right off the ceiling. And then gently let him down on the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna be gentle about this, or are you just gonna plop?
No. I will be... No. Proper Abby fashion is I would lower him so that his head is probably about an inch off the ground and then let go of the rope so he just like softly goes plop.
Okay.
But no, Abby would not.
I was hoping to have a stick.
Look
I
around.
just found the stick.
Look around long enough, and you could probably find a metal pipe.
Or we can rip one out of the. We can rip one out of the walls.
Oh, be careful! There are traps everywhere.
Yeah, Abby will look to the team. I can handle the interior business here if you guys want to go hang out outside. Since I have the layout in my head, I'm going to search this area for any information he might be storing. I mean, if you guys want to walk around, that's fine, but this place is so heavily trapped. Let's be fair, I wouldn't be shocked if there's one that just levels the whole building, and I really don't want that one triggered. I'm in the building.
Can we ask him?
What was that?
Can we ask him if he has one that lives in the building? If he does, we're gonna find it.
Oh, he's
That man is
torpor
very
right now,
out.
but he's not talking.
He is very
Aw,
out of commission.
man.
be fair, Ray isn't aware of what torpor is.
That's true, but she would be
Well,
aware that he
she's
does
looking
look
at
like
a
a
body.
corpse.
Yeah. Like, so, Looney, from what it looks like, he looks like a corpse that's dangling from rope.
Ah. So he's sleeping.
Here he has taken a long, forced nap.
Damn.
We'll wake him up
You
later.
gon' that gonna hurt.
I would like to check this man's pockets while we're here.
Yeah, go for it. Is there anything
I would like to
specific
steal his
you're
money
hoping
from
to
his
look
wallet.
for? Okay, one thing at a time.
Um,
Sketchy, is there anything specific you're hoping to look for?
If he has a cell phone or any other communication devices, I would very much like to make sure I nab those just in case. Or at least get them out of his pockets and get those handed over to Abby.
Okay. I will note if you guys do try to communicate with Abby, the player just stepped out to go to the bathroom.
Abby's somewhere
If you
posing.
do find a phone, I would like to look at it first.
So I guess that does raise the question of, do I find the phone? If
Make
there is one.
make a perception investigation roll for me. Base difficulty 6. Yeah, you find a phone in his pocket. It looks about as old as Abby's phone. Like, it's an old-fashioned phone. Even, like, it's a flip phone.
Given the potential living conditions, not too surprising. Oh yeah, I believe Fovana said she wanted to look through the phone first.
Yeah, if you're gonna hand it over to her.
I want to see his most recent messages first, then I'm gonna hand it over.
Yeah. A lot of his messages are in code. They don't look to be English.
Yeah, definitely a job for Fovana. Then she would definitely know what to do with this.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm a
I don't even
pass the
know.
phone off to her.
Yeah, I could take a look at it. But I don't know if analyze would give us any information. 'Cause it sounds like it would need to be like encrypt, decrypt, right?
Yeah, for the messaging, it would be you would need to figure out how to encrypt and decrypt the messages.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Anything
That's
interesting in
not-
the call logs.
There are call logs. Yeah, there's call logs.
Could I just straight up do like a normal roll to see if I could determine what the code was outside of technomancy?
Yeah.
Because obviously, if it's an older phone, it's
Mm.
probably a simple system.
Make an intelligence academics difficulty. Difficulty 8. could go back and forth between whether or not to make it 7 or 8.
So 8.
Yeah, difficulty 8.
Oof.
So, with one success, it's definitely encrypted. It's not in another language. Anybody looking at it would see it's just gibberish. But you do have a feeling it's related to whatever his background is.
Okay.
You yourself don't know what it is. You might, or Abby might be able to find an encryption key somewhere. You know that usually with encrypted codes, there's usually a key so that it can be referenced. But also, for all you know, he's a vampire. Who knows how long he's been using this? It could be a thing that he changes up regularly, or he's got it memorized.
Well, in that case, I guess. Well, we're still inside, so we're still within earshot. So I guess I'd yell over to Abby.
Yep, and Abby's player is back.
Abby, while you're looking around. What's that?
I said Abby's player is in fact back, so.
Okay.
Yeah, what?
See if you see some type of codex book. Like a book with, mapped alphanumerics. Something that could be used to encode, decode.
Sure.
A
Keep an
message.
eye out for gibberish books. Understood.
Excellent.
And Abby will investigate first the room that she knew he was in.
You're gonna investigate what?
The room that he was first in when we got here.
Okay. Yeah. You go in there, and immediate first glance, don't gotta roll for it. It's a pretty barren room. There's a cot over there. This is probably the room that he's been using to sleep in during the day, since there's the lack of windows and stuff like that. It's the safest spot from the sun. As well as an old metal cabinet that appears to be locked.
That's fine. Abby herself is a built-in lockpick, so. Though ironically, she does also have larceny. You know what? There's like a little twinge in her mind. She wants to try and do this the analog way first. I want to roll Dex larceny to try and pick the lock.
Yeah, okay. Dex Larceny, Diff 6. It's not a super complicated lock. It's a basic cabinet lock.
Pinky would like me to roll to know if he's got games on his phone.
It's a flip phone, so probably not. At best, there's
Might
Snake.
have Snake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at best, there's Snake. Sure, make an intelligence tech roll.
No, I'm just kidding.
2 successes as Abby utilizes whatever she can find to pop this lock. For whatever, she's like, huh, I remember being able to pick locks. Can I?
This feels like a thing that I know how to do. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah, no, she picks the lock.
Ooh, memory unlocked. Larceny. Anyway, Abby has a moment where she's like, was I a locksmith in my human life? That would be weird. Anyway, and she opens up the drawer and starts rooting through it.
Yeah, inside the drawer mostly seems to be like ammo and smaller guns.
Any kind of files or anything like that?
Not in the one drawer.
Alright, how many drawers are on this?
Like 5.
Well, one at a time. I'll just keep going down through them.
Yeah, I won't make you roll larceny for all of them. They're all
Well-
locked, but
Usually in cabinets like this, like especially filing cabinets, there's one lock on it that usually affects the whole row.
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, you go through all of them, and most of them is guns. There are grenades in some of them, but they're like not armed. You'd have to like, if they get jostled around, it shouldn't go off, but also like,
So as long as the pins are in them,
yeah,
they're fine. You would never have a grenade without a pin in it unless it doesn't have a blasting core. So they're armed, they're primed, but you know, obviously the pin's in it, so otherwise they would have blown up already.
yeah. But that's what I mean. Like you're not, you pull and open the drawer, you're not gonna be like, oh shoot.
So are they just scattered about, or do they seem like they're on a belt?
Oh, they're like tucked away. Like there's one of those foam paddings with like the indents in them that they're all stored in so that they stay straight. They're not jostling about.
Is there a grenade belt in this drawer, or and she's gonna poke her head out of the room and see if he's wearing a grenade belt?
He's not wearing one. There is one inside.
Oh, she is absolutely strapping on that grenade belt and loading up. Not because she intends to use them, but because Abby thinks this is the coolest shit.
Definitely nobody else could get away with it because she doesn't need to be seen anyway. Anyone else getting caught with that? Arrested.
Best part is she's got flight, so she could just like pluck these off and just drop them to fucking death from above.
Oh dear God.
That would cause so much of a scene, though.
So besides all the explosives, was there any kind of files?
Not. Oh, I also haven't gone through all of the furniture in the room. Because there's the cabinet. He was cleaning off his gun at a desk. And then there's like another type of cabinet. It looks like one with the 2 big doors, like a locker almost. That's also there. That's all of it. But within these cabinets, no, he seems to be using them for weapon storage.
Okay. The next will be the desk.
Right, it's a pretty simple desk. It's got, like... My brain immediately akins it to, like, a teacher's desk with how it's set up. It's definitely worn and dirty, like it's been in a warehouse the whole time, but, like, the drawer's set up. It's, like, got one really big drawer, and then one really small drawer, and then the table that goes across, and then another set of drawers at the same on the other side.
So like my desk.
Yeah, except with the locks on them that probably were never actually locked because they probably lost the key years ago.
Abby wiggles the drawer on the desk to check and see if it is currently locked.
No, not currently.
Okay. And she opens up the drawer and starts rooting through whatever's in there.
So the first drawer's empty. The second drawer, there are some files, but not very many.
Well, she starts going through those before she gets to the next drawer. What are the files on?
The main one that sticks out to you is the plan for the shovelheads. There's a map with locations drawn out for where they were dropped.
Is there any details as to why?
Nope.
Okay, she'll set those on top of the desk. Go to the next drawer.
The next drawer, do you look at the top or the bottom?
Top first.
Alright, top drawer, there does seem to be a book inside.
Okay. Abby looks at the book.
It's filled with so much gibberish.
Abby hollers at the top of her lungs. I found gibberish book!
Excellent.
Do you need it translated?
It's not for me.
Do you try to get Favana to come to you, or are you gonna bring it to her, or are you holding on to it to wait?
I'll take it to her if she doesn't come in as I go to the next drawer.
Are you gonna trek through the hallway and risk potentially setting a trap?
No.
Okay.
I'll wait for you.
Probably best.
Ray's just in the background, messing around with the claws that are now her fingers because she's like, holy shit, this is cool!
Does she start like scratching at the walls with them?
No, she's just like
Have you
tapping them
found
together like
anything
how
else?
long nails are.
No, is she doing that
Sorry.
thing where like people with, especially with like long nails, when they rub their nails together to make the clicky noise?
Yes. She's
Oh
like,
God.
But in response to Pavana, Abby hollers back. I found a cabinet that is the sole embodiment of Texas and a bunch of files.
Oh, any X for firearms?
Yeah, I have a gun shop in a case.
How many? If you can grab extras, let us know.
Will do.
Just goes carrying the case out. Like,
No,
here
no,
you go.
that is exactly what she was going to do.
Yeah, the whole cabinet.
Perfection.
And what was in this last drawer here?
The last drawer is empty.
Okay, and then you said there was one more set of like double door cabinets.
Yep.
He's gonna go over and check and possibly loot that too.
Yeah, there's not much in there. There is yet another shotgun just kind of hanging out inside of it, and it looks like this is where he's been storing spare clothing for now. There's not a whole lot, maybe like 3 changes of outfits. They're all relatively similar.
Okay, so Abby is going to take his spare clothes and stuff it in the drawer that had the grenades. And she's going to take the shotgun in its holster and attach it on a spare side of the grenade belt. She does not intend to use any of this, but she's a little hoarder and is just like, this looks cool, this looks cool, I look extra badass. And takes everything that she has found in this office and stuffs it in the gun case. Which she then, well, the gun filing cabinet, which she then plucks off the ground like it ain't nobody's business because she can deadlift like 700-800 pounds, something like that. And with it slung over her shoulder and the book in her other hand, she walks out of this room. You guys watch Abby walk out of this room with this filing cabinet slung over her shoulder and a grenade belt fully loaded around her waist with a shotgun clipped to it. And she looks happier than a rat in a cheese factory.
Wait, if Abby's got a shotgun, which one have I been holding?
You have a shotgun too.
He had a spare.
Nice. Heck yeah. All the boom.
See, this is what I expected when I came to Texas.
Ray's just like, just still distracted with her claws.
She doesn't care
And
about the
Abby
gun.
hands the little notebook over to Pavana.
Ah, thank you.
Just through a quick skim, while this definitely is going to be needed for the encryption, this is going to take you a while to encode.
Okay.
Like, you're going to have to dedicate
Do I
some
need to
time
make any
this.
roll or anything to like start?
For when you start, I wouldn't recommend doing it right now, but you can do it in off time or downtime later when you guys are in a safer place than a trapped warehouse.
Of course.
Of the enemy that could possibly, for all you guys know, someone could eventually end up stopping by and round 2 of something. But because like from the file, you know he's not working alone. Based from what Arachne told you guys, he was not working alone. There's somebody else with them. Calvin has a sneaking suspicion of who that other person is.
Oh yeah, looking through the files on the plan, would he have found any information on this Sabat pack? Quick history drop. Sabat's members operate in packs. It's usually a group of like 2 to 5 people, all bloodbound and a special ritual. They all typically have fancy names that represent their purpose. If you don't have a name for them now, that's not a big deal. But would they have any information on their pack and its structure in these files?
From what you can tell, this is something he wrote down on for himself. It's also encoded.
Okay. So with that, after handing the notebook over to Fovana. Oh, and I have a couple of files and various random documents that are stuffed in this case, along with all the other weapons he had. Absolute Texas, let me tell you. And they're encoded too, so we need to get through these pretty quick.
All right.
I need to slow you guys down a little bit on this.
No, that makes sense, and they absolutely would have their shit encoded. Like you're not deusing anything. You're perfectly on point.
I mean, I figured it made sense, but I just. But yeah, so you have the files. You have the filing cabinet full of weapons. Abby came out with a thing of like a belt of grenades crossed over her body, plus a shotgun, and then she's got her cloak over on top of that.
I don't have my cloak at this moment. Remember, that was tucked away and stored outside because that's what let me go chameleon.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, never mind. She's otherwise naked.
That said, I will ask Cyrus to run out and grab a cloak for her because Cyrus isn't doing anything right now.
Yeah, where'd you put it?
I would explain to him. It was in the second alley closest to this building, carefully folded and tucked behind a dumpster.
Okay, and then he'll rush off. And then he'll wait outside, both to let you guys know when the car arrives, and also holding onto your cloak and just be like, just let me know and I'll pass it through the door.
But yeah, she will eventually find a place to set the cabinet down so that she's not holding it the whole time. Not like it's gonna bother her. And then like shows off her fancy new belt, loaded with enough explosives to cause one hell of a mess. Look, I'm a suspect.
Abby looks
She
ready
was
for
also
war.
We both look ready for war. She just like holds out her hands, like being all giddy, being like, "I'm ready to kill."
Does she like hold her hands out, palms forward, and does like the grippy motion?
Yes, while jumping up and down, looking like a giddy little kid.
Do you remember the way they had Catwoman in the original Batman movie? The Keaton one? Where she would go like this with the claws and everything. I imagine that's what Ray is doing right now.
Except she looks far less elegant.
Yes.
And then since they only
I just
technically
kind of...
lasted
go
a
ahead.
scene, not too long after the fight, they would end up retracting on their own. So I feel like she's flexing them, and then like all of a sudden grow back into her fingers.
And they're just normal fingers with normal nails now.
She now looks sad.
But now she knows she can do it. She just has to spend blood.
Hey, it's so cool.
But yeah,
I,
well, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just kind of look over at Calvin, shake my head.
What in the hell have we gotten into here? Are you as worried about this as I am?
Which part? The shovel heads, the new ability that we've seen Ray with, the guy we have tied up, or everything as a whole?
I'm more worried about Ray and the well-armed Abby.
At the mention of the phrase "well armed," Abby just starts pumping her muscles, just flexing.
I like to think
Yeah,
that
those two.
physically speaking, she doesn't even have like that big of muscles. Like she's well toned, but like she doesn't actually have that big of muscles. She looks quite small.
Yeah, she's got definition, but she's just like, and this well-armed Abby, and she's like, flex, flex, flex.
Tiny little bumps on her arms. It's very deceiving for how strong she actually is.
As concerning as that is, at least Abby's on our side, so it takes a little bit of weight off. But what I'm concerned with, and as he's saying this, Cal is actually looking over the shotgun in his hands. Like, this guy, while outnumbered, he probably could have taken at least one of us out, but he chose not to fire.
Yeah. I did take note of that.
To be fair, he probably did realize he was exceedingly outnumbered. And my first hit on him, it was painful. I could feel parts of his skull kind of crack as I put his face through the stairs. I think he knew he was a little forked.
That's valid. Where was he even gonna go?
He keeps
I
gonna
mean,
go
guy-
out the window.
I mean, guy jumping out of a window, running through the streets with a loaded shotgun. Wait, is this loaded?
Do you check?
Yeah, I'm gonna check and make sure the thing's actually loaded. Like, I ensured the safety was on from the moment I got it in my hands, but I
Oh yeah, no,
double-checked
it's
it actually-
it's loaded.
And
And like it wouldn't take much for you to find extra ammo on his body.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if there were any shells on him.
Oh, yeah, there's
or
shells.
in that cabinet.
There's definitely shells in the
can I
cabinet.
request you roll to figure out how you determine whether it's loaded? Like, do you try to point it at something and shoot? Do you look down the barrel or do you check it
No.
correctly?
I'm going to check it correctly because, good God, listen.
Yeah, Cal
Look-
has dots and firearms, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he would know. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like Abby. Abby would look down the barrel.
Yeah,
This
look,
man
unless you
is-
guys specifically say something absolutely stupid, like I'm gonna peek through the barrel, I'm going to assume you know not to do that.
At least one dot in the relative
It's just the
skill gives
image.
you the basic info.
Yeah, especially if you have a dot in the skill. The one dot in the skill
like,
at
is
the
this thing
bare minimum
loaded?
means that you've gone through the firearm safety training. So yeah, no. With one dot
You
in
just imagine it,
firearms,
though.
Calvin knows not to look down the barrel or to just point and shoot in a room that's got a lot of metal and traps everywhere.
oh yeah. This is going behind the bar.
What could go wrong?
I don't know. You guys have a 5'3" walking freight train that has an explosive belt. What could go wrong?
And a puppy who learned that she has claws.
I would very much like to look in that cabinet for a handgun.
Oh yeah, no. Abby is gonna start showing and telling Cal everything that's in that drawer. Like it's like, look, this is in this one. This is in this one. This is this one.
Look, you can assume this man knows how to use every single one of these guns, and he has a wide variety of different guns. You can find a basic handgun.
Straight. I'm gonna grab that and.
I
move
call any
that.
extras.
There's so much plenty. Each of you could take one.
Guns akimbo.
Did I do this so that way you guys had something to do other than just like run up and punch things and or do like magic-y things from a distance? Yes.
Are there any knives?
Oh yeah.
I have a list of things to stab already, apparently.
Apparently. I don't know how long that list is, but there's at least one person on there.
I think Abby's
It's a
gonna
very
try and
long list.
strategically hide the knives, just because Abby heard about the stab list.
Yeah, that's fair. Are they also on her person?
If there are knives, depends. If they're like the tiny switchblades, probably not.
No, they're combat knives.
Oh, like combat or Bowie knives? Oh hell yeah, she's gonna Rambo the fuck out.
I
was saying we could probably give one of those to Calvin because he has more dots in melee.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
like
I was-
everything that Abby has strapped herself with, except for the grenades, because that runs off of the athletic skill for throwing. Abby has no idea how to use any of these. They're fashion pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and nab one of the knives if I can.
Yeah, you can. I will give you a small list later, like after session, because there shouldn't be any more combat today.
Unless we fuck
And-
up horrendously.
Yeah. Please don't, because that's probably going to involve you breaking the masquerade at this point, attacking
I'm not a
humans
murder
and
hobo, we're good.
police. That's good, because I
Yeah,
don't
no.
allow murder hoboing. You guys want to murder hobo, and I mean, I'll let you do it, but there's going to be some major consequences to your actions, and if it's one that's big enough that leads to your character's death, I'm not sorry.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions.
Haha, I'm tied to a tree out in the sun.
I know one thing Abby's gonna have to do after the body pickup. She needs to go find a couple of snacks.
Okay. Great time to teach Ray how to hunt. Or at least about hunting. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know if she would share
wanna hear
your
this
taste
one.
in hunting.
Like, out of character, I want to hear this.
You know, honestly, we could do a session have her do a session with everyone to go through all the different types of, like, feeding to see which one she likes most.
Problem is Abby only knows one way to feed.
That's what I'm saying. She would partner up with each person within the coterie to figure out their style of feeding, so she can figure out which one she likes most.
All right, there we go. For each day of downtime, Ray gets a field trip with one of the other people in the crew.
Field trip, learning time.
Hey, field trip!
Coteries are great, man.
But she's just gonna be showing up to everyone's houses with like an overnight bag or something.
Look, I will absolutely pay to see Ray try to do the flirty eating, and just how awkwardly awful that's going to be.
If that succeeds, my ass will be on the floor laughing, not gonna lie. Because I automatically know I need to
Laughing my
text
ass
her.
off too.
Ray will just be like, can I nibble on your neck? I swear it's hot.
No,
You got
I
a
think
real
she would
pretty
be
neck,
like
dear
this.
boy.
I think she'd be like this. Can I bite your wrist? I hear that it's highly sensitive.
Yeah, considering she has
Did
no
you
dots
know
and
that the
subterfuge.
wrist is one of the most erogenous zones.
It's better
Second
than
only
Yale.
to the
No
ear.
information for me. See, this sounds like a scientist trying to flirt.
It's a Tremere trying to flirt.
Yeah, so close enough.
So, did you know that about 70% of your body's water? And I'm thirsty.
God.
One of those kind of lines.
70% of your body's water. And mama's thirsty.
There it is. Word for word while I was thinking, but I'm saying, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't have the right character to say that line.
I think
Look,
this is how
VTM by default typically is 18 plus because of how dark it gets. There's a reason I gave you guys all a consent sheet. I mean, I would have done this with D&D as well, but like for this especially, there's a reason why I gave you guys consent sheets to fill out.
So quick, old school lore drop. Yeah, where the majority of BTM has got that like 18 plus feel. You know that there was a black label set of source books for VTM that had to be filed under a different publication name because it was darker and more twisted than the rest of their normal line. It's called Black Dog.
White Wolf, Black
Digging
Dog,
it, also
fair enough.
digging the name, also realizing how sidetracked we're getting.
Oh, absolutely. We all have ADHD.
But yeah, Black Dog is where you got that awful picture of the Samitsi on the back cover that I dare not mention on public television. Vagina. Its face looked like a tooth vagina.
You're gonna have to share with the class later then.
Absolutely.
You can post that in the private VTM chat where only we can see it. But, yeah, so is there, like I said, it's going to take about an hour for a car to get there. Is there anything else you guys want to do or discuss, or do we want to just tiny time skip?
Actually, I want to see I want to see their reactions to Ray being like, if I can do claws, can I become an animal?
I know some of your clan that can. Big Dog can do it. You may be a little too fresh out of the dirt, but I have hopes.
Now all of them just see Ray just have this grin that absolutely should not be on her face. That's like, oh, there is so much power I'm going to
Like-
love abusing.
I just walk over and pat her on the head.
There. We'll get to it.
Just they smell. I could have so much fun.
Now, however, pretty much right before the car gets here, Abby will take off the commando gear because Abby can feel the beast. Her gut's a little empty, and she can't go hunting with high lethal armaments.
High yield explosives.
Hey, Abby, a thought just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Do you have like a backpack or anything?
No. That interferes with the wings.
Gotcha.
Wear it on your front.
Alright, maybe we can figure something out later.
Do you need us to hold those for you?
Abby, like, cocks her head slowly and looks at Bovana. I don't know if I trust you with the way you said that. Mrs.
Well-
Stabulist.
Well, that's true. But the gun is allowing me to stab things remotely. Not really a big fan of large explosions, so I definitely will not be using those. So I can just hold them for you until you get back. It's up to you. Or Cal can hold them. Sure he wouldn't mind.
don't you just love having to look for a spot to like not be in a text box before you hold your press to talk button? Because that's why it took me a second to respond. I was like, oh wait, gotta make sure I'm on the right channel, make sure I'm not in a text box.
That's why I
I keep
made
hitting the
my.
wrong foot.
That's why I have my right control button as my push to talk button.
That is a lot smarter than me. I'm using one of the buttons on the keyboard.
I did that for a while, and then I was like, at one point, I would have push talk on while I was like drawing, and it interfered a lot with my drawing.
If you have side buttons on your mouse,
I do
those are
not.
good too.
Oh, that's genius. I'm gonna write that down. Well, I'm not gonna write it down, but I'm gonna remember that for later. But yeah, in character, like, yeah, while that conversation was going on, Cal is listening, but he was kind of practicing with the knife, and it looks like he is definitely more comfortable with a weapon in hand than with just bare fists like before.
I would sure hope so with how many more dots you have.
But yeah, Cal just kind of shrugs as he's still taking a few practice swings with it. And I was like, I'll find somewhere safe to hold him if you need.
Well, I'm figuring, I'll put the drawers here inside the vehicle when it comes, because they'll probably bring like an SUV for easy body hauling, and then probably you guys should go with, but that fight did kind of take a little out of my reserves, so I'll have to go get a drink before I head to the little interrogation house. Until then, here, you wear it. And Abby will unclip the grenade belt, walk over to Cal, and like in that moment, she'll, without giving him a chance to react, clip it around his waist so that he's wearing it. Just basically dressing him up in all of the combat accessories that she had acquired.
It's a little bit heavy.
Right.
Okay,
She
needless to
wouldn't
say, I'm
even thought of
probably
that.
needless to say, I'm probably gonna need a ride home after all this, because I don't think I can call a cab with all this on.
Well, I figure you guys will just pile in as much as possible when the pickup gets here. And then if you happen to get to the location before I do, just let Big Dog know that Abby had to get a bite to eat.
Understood.
Sounds good.
Like, I don't know if you guys want to be present for the interrogation, but I mean, like, he is tied to the one that did have your bar attacked, so I figure, you know, you might want to squeeze him for a little bit. Now, do be careful. Watch out for the beast. It will get a little too into it, and we don't need you sliding down into the dark spiral of social oblivion, and your soul turns sour and dark, and you fall to the night forever. That would be bad.
Oof. Yeah, and plus that sounds like a whole messy process, and this whole thing's been teaching me that I do not like messy processes.
No, we must always be better than the Sabbat. She looks over to the pinata. That's right, we will always be better than you, because vampires and torpor can still kind of hear. Now, when they're in like damaged torpor, it's kind of fuzzy, but if he'd be staked, his senses would be completely aware all the time. What's really fun to do, this is out of character obviously, is to stake a vampire, toss them in a box, and leave them near a construction site where there's jackhammers all the time.
That's messed
Don't
up.
do
That's just ruthless, but I like it.
Vampires are powerful. We're also easy to torture.
It's like, what are you gonna do to me? I can't die. Exactly.
All I can imagine is exactly. I'm gonna let this girl talk to you for a fucking hour.
Let me tell you about all my special interests. Let's start with animals.
Okay.
Oh, I have like a pet.
Just there's that scene where Abby's sitting there in her Abbey and she gets a phone call. We captured your friend. Who? The one called Ray. Ah, yes, you have to pay us a ransom to get her back. Call me back in 20 minutes. They call back. We'll reduce the amount that you have to pay to get her back. You know what? I'm gonna wait a little bit. Call me back in a half an hour. Fucking, we'll just bring her back.
Like,
We'll pay you to
ew.
take her.
You have to say, just wait a little bit longer. No, I'll pay you. Here's $20.
And then they drop Ray off, and Abby's just counting the cash, and Ray's like, "How was your day?" "Oh, I made a good buck."
Profitable.
Doesn't even
All
realize she's
she
been
talked
kidnapped.
about was how every single soul that was around them told her about like a portion of history, and they were starting to get like creeped out because they couldn't see shit.
In 1907,
In 1907, a ball game happened. Surprisingly enough, it caused a boy to lose his eyeball.
So,
But yeah, I feel like this point, we can fast forward to the vehicle getting here.
yeah, I was just about to. I was about to say, so, we'll fast forward. Car arrives. Are you waiting until before or after the car to go hunting?
I'm gonna wait until the car gets here to verify, yes, you were at the right location. Here's the body. If there's any kind of secret handshake, yada yada. If there isn't, Abby's gonna make one on the spot anyway, and this poor guy's going to get involved in it whether he wants to or not.
Okay. Yeah, so someone pulls up, and you recognize him as one of the prince's many ghouls that he has. You would have seen him around. So yeah, he pulls up. There's not a secret handshake, but apparently now there is.
Okay, if I recognize this ghoul and seen him before, with as close as I am to the prince, he is already expecting that there's gonna be some dumb shit.
He sees Abby. He's like, What's happening now?
Yep, there's gonna be like a 2-minute long secret handshake. And basically, since he's not gonna know the moves, Abby's free hand is going to grab his and move it along with the action.
Love it. He's just loose hand flopping, waiting until she's done and satisfied.
And then I remember they were talking about finding some kind of tarps in the warehouse to wrap the body up so it's not immediately suspicious. And
Yeah, you
she's
guys
gonna
you
rip
guys
the
eventually
rope
would
out of the
find,
ceiling.
like I said, he had a bed that was like very neatly made. Probably didn't ever actually sleep under the covers, but there were like blankets you could wrap him up in. So, as well as the spare clothing.
You're gonna want any more dogs?
But yeah. So Abby puts eventually when she's finally done with the super long secret handshake that was made up on the spot, much to the ghoul's annoyance. And he just kind of has to go through because it's not like he can really fight back. He is still a human, even if he's a supernatural human. And the body gets put into the trunk of, it looks like, I like to call them the it's a white van kidnapper vehicle.
Perfect. That'll be followed
that's
up.
just a universal term then.
No
Abby will put
windows.
the whole gun.
Or at
cover
least
in
really
there.
dark tinted windows with like the white sheen
Nice to
over
have
it.
one of those.
Kidnapper vans.
Wrote free candy on the side. I mean, no.
But yeah, so after the body's placed in, Abby's gonna put the whole gun cover, which is probably gonna take all of the coterie to move without Abby.
Probably. Looney or Ray's having an easier time than probably the rest of the coterie. Well, actually, wait. Let me double check things.
Abby, you forgot to take. She's too far gone.
Actually, Fovana's having an easier time than the rest of the group. Everyone else, yeah, is struggling. You've got Fovana with one end. She's still, it's like, this is heavy and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Cal and Ray are holding the bottom end, helping her lift it into the truck.
Just in her head, she's just like, life is like a hurricane.
And Abby will look to the ghoul. If you don't have a name off the top of your head, that's fine. We don't have to give him a name yet. Go.
Stephen
James.
Brandt or James.
First name that popped in my head.
But yeah, James. So obviously he's gonna go to the big dog, and I will catch up with you. Fighting Sabat makes me a little nums. So I'm gonna go eat.
Fighting Sabat makes me a little num-nums. That's going into out of context later.
Gotta get some fast food.
Are you gonna take Ray and show her how you gonna do your thing?
That depends on Bray. I don't know how hungry she is. I know she spent one blood point and should have spent another one beforehand, but I don't imagine she's too low. She doesn't actually have to go right now.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
I would rather be tapped off before I go tutorials. I am about half empty.
Whew. Yeah, do what you gotta do.
And then with that, Abby will slink off into the night.
Have a good snack.
So who's getting? So who's getting in the passenger seat of this van?
Not
So-
it.
Because it's like
I'm
the
gonna volunteer
driver,
for passenger
the
seat.
passenger, and then the back.
Yeah, I was gonna volunteer for passenger seat.
All right, so Fovana, Cyrus, and Ray are all in the back of this van.
Well, this is cozy.
So
Yeah.
I just watched us struggling with that heavy ass crate.
Yeah, he probably helped. He held like the side, like in the middle.
He had one finger pressed up against the bottom of the crate.
He was the one yelling for us all to pivot, and never
Yeah.
specified who he was telling to pivot.
Yeah,
He was supervising.
he was guiding.
Lift with
You
your
gotta
legs.
turn.
Lift with your legs. Gotta turn. Go to the left. No, your other left. Whose left? My left.
Just throw it at this point.
Watch out for the butt. Oh, too late.
I imagine this is.
Mhm.
I imagine this is gonna be the most awkward car ride for everyone's afterlives.
Probably because the ghoul is not particularly talkative. Not like that old man. That being said, he is a ghoul. You can assume that if he's the one driving to pick this up, like you could tell he's human. Or at least alive. But if he's doing this, then you know he's either a ghoul under some sort of supernatural like influence. Either way, it's not like with the Uber driver where you gotta be like talking in code or being real hush hush.
Alright, this guy's in the loop.
Correct. That being said, he's not one of your people, so you still like proceed with caution for what you're willing to share with someone who's definitely going to be reporting back to somebody else. Assuming you guys talk it all. You don't have to.
The craziest talking point that Cal would have would just be saying how helpful Lappy was, and hopefully that will look good on her report.
She's a good teacher.
I'm
She
kind
taught
of.
me she taught me that my claws are normal.
I'm just
But
gonna.
also, I apologize for what I said over the receiver.
I'm just gonna lay down and just close my eyes and enjoy the ride in silence. Or try to.
And just think to yourself, thank God the gargoyle's a friend.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the gargoyle doesn't want to immediately kill me for being a Tremere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just kind of blab, and he doesn't really say anything unless you, like, specifically ask him a question or specifically say something to him or something. If you're just, like, talking generally, he's quiet the whole time. It's another long drive. By the time you guys get back, it's, like, I would say 2 a.m.
Got a little bit of time to kill, but not much.
Once you guys arrive, I don't know, do you need a roll for hunting?
Yeah, you can set up a roll, like, if we're not trying to, like, role play a specific hunting scene, you can do a batch hunting roll. For, like, Abby's case, it would be dex stealth, because that's how she hunts. She's an ambush predator.
Do you want to roleplay, or do you just want to...
Considering she's just doing this to fill up, like, there's nothing special about this. She basically burnt half her blood full beating the shit out of this Sabat guy. Yeah, I just a batch roll for her.
Okay, and what is it? Every success is a dot that you get back?
Every success is a target I can find. And from there I can choose how much blood I take out of said target.
Okay, so I just have to list off some targets for you or something.
And so, to be honest, you don't even have to give me anything special about it. Like, I'm just going... So, like, I roll X amount of successes, and it's just like, oh yeah, so 5 successes, you found 5 people, how much you're taking off of each person, kind of thing.
Okay, fair enough. You go ahead and make that roll then.
And I will go ahead, because I know I'll get a decent net back on it. And plus, it makes more sense doing it this way. I'm activating my chameleon skin. Gives extra stealth and less likely for me to breach the masquerade.
Fair. Also, Cal, I'm just now, like, kind of realizing that you got into the passenger side of this car with explosives on your waist.
Yeah, I just
They're
thought
heavily
I
armed.
didn't consider that until you said it too.
Yeah, but this is the prince's goal. He's like, oh, grenades, and he knows that we just fought a Sabat member, and he'll just be like, that checks out.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I don't know how much... Because Cal doesn't have a lot of experience with combat or the Sabat or the prince, so I don't know how well he would react to it. But the ghoul doesn't seem phased or doesn't seem to ask questions. Oh yeah, dude, you find 6 people, you're good.
Yeah, because I can take a safe amount from each of them. This one had 6. I'll have to heal 1. So amongst that, I'll be spending a blood to get rid of that bruise level. And 2 is a safe amount you can take from a human without an issue. So I can top off to max and be fully healed. And back home before the bell tolls. Guys, being an ambush predator is fate.
So yeah, you do that. We'll say it takes you a while. You'll arrive 30 minutes later than the others.
I would say roughly how it's determined is it's about an hour per roll. So that hunt fest would take me approximately 60 minutes.
Oh, then you'd arrive an hour later, depending on how far you went.
I just saw the kids sketchy dropped. Absolutely. That's happy.
But, yeah, so you guys walk in. You're probably not going to be seeing Abby for a good bit. There's people that come out to meet and to help bring the body in. Now, tell me, did you want them to bring that case full of weapons to your place, or are you turning that into the prince?
No, these are my war spoils.
I had to make sure because you didn't say anything to them.
I just assumed that since Cal wanted to partake of the guns, he'd understand like this is our community resource here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. Some people come in and they help bring out the body. Cal, you communicate. We'll say you communicate that like, you just needed help transporting this, but this is just a stuff of weapons that's being divvied up amongst everybody. It's just easier to transport it still in the case. And as the body's being carried in and carried away, the prince will walk out and greet all of you. I'm impressed. I didn't expect to see results so fast. That being said, this is still very early on.
True, and we don't know what this fellow knows yet.
I'm sure he knows a great deal. More than he's going to be willing to let us believe.
We did find some coded information on them. You do have a book. Do you happen to have any knowledge or experience on who may be using this type of codex?
And I hand over the book.
He takes the book and opens it. He skims through it and like cocks an eyebrow. Yeah, I recognize this. I can't read it immediately, but this was used quite a bit during my days in the war.
The war, huh?
The Alamo.
Oh my. I can try to take a look at it and decode it and see if we can use it to decode the messages. But I think it may take me some time to do.
I don't think it would take me to be too much faster for me. I will leave that to you, but I do want this when you're done, either the decoded or the book itself untouched.
Sure. Sounds good.
I take the book back.
Yep, he'll give it back. He'll let you work on that. You get the sense the only reason he's not insisting to do it himself is he's aware he's going to be quite busy taking care of other things all around that he doesn't know when he'll be able to get to it. You did great work finding and subduing this with Abby's help. Is there anything else that I need to know?
I don't think so. But I mean, most of the damage here was, if not all of it, was done by Abby to be able to capture them. We definitely could not have done it without them. I don't think we've done much.
It should also be noted that this man does have an accomplice that we have not located as of yet. He was alone when we found him.
If we can get out of him, I'll talk to him for a few hours to coerce him to talk.
There's no need. I will take care of the interrogation. If there is any specific information that you need, I will make sure the message gets to you. But seeing as you brought him in, if I gather the information as to where his pack is, that will be delivered to you, or to at least one of you.
Sounds good. I will tell you, her methods are very effective.
Abby's, yes, there is a reason why the sheriff has picked her to be his bully boy, one of many.
No, I meant Ray's interrogation techniques. Tell him about Filbert.
Yes.
Another time, perhaps. The prince is a very busy man. Though,
I just
Smiley, with
smile.
your permission, would I be allowed to be present for the interrogation?
Why?
I've been told I can be quite persuasive, so perhaps I might be able to persuade him to talk to us before anyone decides to get a little too physical with him.
I look at Calvin and I'm trying to determine whether or not we should mention the link of the accomplice or not. Trying to determine if honesty is the best policy on this one or not.
I don't care if you want to witness the interrogation. If I feel my own people are quite lacking in it, I will give you a shot. If there's specific information you're hoping to glean, you can tell me and I'll do my best to get that information.
Well, if nothing else, I would certainly like to have a name for his accomplice, and potentially how the two might be related. Could give us a bit of an edge on him, at least in tracking the accomplice down.
Yep, that is part of the information we would have tried to gather anyway, but I'll make sure that you have that.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else?
Is there anything else that we're forgetting to mention to this man? Because I know that even though my memory might be terrible, I feel like Cal would be able to keep track of this stuff considering how quickly it's happening for them.
The only thing I could think of is your potential tie to one of his companions, but that's completely up to you whether or not you share it. It may not necessarily be necessary information other than showing your own personal need for the information.
Nah, I don't think I want to really show my hand there.
I do want Ray to ask a question to the prince that might be a little sad.
Go for it.
Why did you spare me? Why didn't you have Abby kill me?
You were turned on a whim for somebody's sick game. You at least deserve a chance to survive and try to acclimate to the new life that was forced upon you. Whether or not you can survive it from this point on is all dependent on you, though.
Then why weren't the others? You
They
gave
were.
me that choice. Then why not give them?
The other shovelheads?
Yes. I
Whether or
consider
not...
them my brothers at this point. We are all under the same name. So why were they not spared?
What makes you think they weren't?
You did not give them the chance to live or die.
They did
They
not come
were
here...
killed.
They did not come here the same time as you. They were in different locations altogether. I didn't kill them. If they died, it's because the sheriffs or bully boys around there made that call.
Understood. Ray would just walk out after that point because she still is trying to understand. Like, obviously, she was spared for a reason,
That being
but she
said,
doesn't understand why anybody else, like any of the other two shovelheads, weren't given that option. Why was she spared that cut of the thread?
that being said, I will specify to you, she has never been confirmed whether or not the other two have in fact been killed. Like,
Yeah, she's probably going under the pretense that the other two were just murdered. Or
yeah,
just
she's
killed out of like sheer protection. But she's not gonna blame the people that were doing it out of protection, like Cal. She thought, hey, somebody from around his bar killed out of self-defense.
and honestly, you could ask Cal about that because he was there. You've never asked if that shovelhead lived or died. You didn't even ask the prince even then if they died. He only stated that he did not command that they died.
Yeah. At the
And-
moment, she kind of had like a lot of questions answered. So she's
And
gonna
down to
wait for a
brass
little bit.
tacks, technically, it was Abby that chose whether you lived or died.
Yeah. But to her brain, Abby brought her to the prince, which in her brain gave the ultimate decision of you live or does Abby kill you?
I mean, technically, that was just politics. Abby needed to go, look, I'm keeping this one. Because, has to give proof of existence. But you haven't learned about the politics yet. Abby will eventually remember to teach you.
Yeah. Out of all the goofiness, they're reminded that Ray is still serious.
Look, this is only night 2 of her new life. You guys made a lot of progress in 2 nights.
Yeah.
You like the Tremere got here yesterday, they came back with the Sabbat the next day. Like,
Really proving their worth there.
We're efficient.
as Ray turns to leave, he will look at the rest of you. I will have one of my ghouls bring around a car and take all of you to the specific location, whether it be your haven or whatever meetup point that you all are staying in, since it appears all of you are working together on this.
Sounds
Your
good. Thank
kindness
you.
is much appreciated.
I suggest you wait inside. You don't need to be standing outside with that on. He says to you, Cal,
Yes,
his gaze
my-
dropping to the grenade belt and the 2 big shotguns on your back.
My
Yeah,
sincere
Rambo, you better stay in
apologies.
here.
My sincerest apologies for the attire. I'm as bad as stereotypic as this sounds. I'm holding it for a friend.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have come to understand Abby well enough at this point.
Is this when Abby can make her late yet very stylish entrance?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Doors just kind of fly open. Were my ears ringing?
Hello, Abby.
Sorry I was a little late. I needed to get a snack. You know how it is, duking it out with them sabbats.
Yes, I was informed. Is there any information that they may not have mentioned that I might need to know? And he'll fill you in on what he knows so far.
He is mildly physically resistant, but easily breakable. Hmm. Besides encoded documents, he definitely took Texan pride to heart. It is our spoils of war, but I acquired a large cabinet full of firearms.
So I've heard.
He was definitely setting up for something, though. We won't know more until we translate everything that was found. And on a scale of 1 to 10 on the paranoia levels, he was about a 25. His house, well, the warehouse that we found him at, when I say it was loaded for bear and traps, wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling, it was seriously hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
Theorists here get to be a pinata.
But yeah, he's also intelligent enough that he was aware that he was absolutely fucked in that situation and tried to jump out a window. I caved in his ribs though, so he didn't really make it that far.
I saw the damage. It's gonna take him a bit to heal enough to be coherent.
I mean, it shouldn't take long to pop him out of torpor with as potent blood that you have. Mechanically speaking, you can rouse anyone out of damaged torpor by someone feeding them enough vampiric blood. If they're equal to or lower generation, 1 drop is enough. If they're a higher generation, 2, maybe 3, it may not heal them, but it will pop them into in-cap where they'll be able to start healing themselves. But I'm sure you'll have him on his feet in no time, and then take his kneecaps when he doesn't answer your questions.
That's very likely.
And the best part about our bodies is, you get to grow them back so that you can take them all over again.
And as I told them, I will report back to all of you any information you need to continue the investigation. For now, I think all of you deserve a well rest for the rest of the night.
If you need me to do the classic spooky spooky, that usually gets their blood flowing. Just call. I like spooking.
Who is she saying we're doing the ookie spooky to?
To help interrogate the guy.
Oh.
You know, like if the prince needs her to do the ookie spooky.
If we need help, I will let you know, Abby.
I enjoy the ookie spooky.
Yes, I know.
Alright, whose pad we crashing at?
Out of character. Who's the closest? Like, where's their thing? Yeah.
Technically speaking, I think the the motel that Fovana and Cyrus are staying in are closer.
Okie dokie. Now I just need to realize, where is Ray's apartment placed in the city? I have forgotten. Like, is it on the outskirts of the town, or is it like in the dead center?
It's still pretty much in the center. I imagine you live in a fairly cheap but not run down apartment complex. It would be within the city, at most 30 minutes away, but probably less. And I think that the motel that our Tremere are staying at is more like 15 minutes away, with Abby's Abbey and Calvin's bar and or apartment that he's at also being about 20 minutes away. By car.
I'm not entirely sure.
I guess I would kind of say, since I guess we haven't been there yet.
My understanding was that our location, our motel rooms were probably the closest. Which,
Your motel rooms are also
Abby, you've been
small.
there. I don't know if they're big enough for all of us, are they? Between the two of them, they should be, right?
You know,
I need to
that's a
head home
good
anyway.
point. You know what? I'll take care of this. I may not have friends, but I know the big dog does. It's kind of his turf. And Abby will turn to him. You upgrade them to the suite so we can all kind of bunk in the luxury for a little bit. He just gives the puppy dog eyes. So just like this 5'3" gargoyle giving the fucking Puss in Boots.
He will roll his eyes. I think the Tremere have earned it for their help in capturing a Sabbat in such a short amount of time.
Thank you.
But yeah, so like
Thank
Abby
you.
will squeal. I'm assuming that'll be taken care of by the time we get there. Yeah.
I'll give you a new address. The one that they're staying at doesn't have a luxury suite.
Okay. And we'll probably use your driver, sweet fellow, fantastic at memorizing the secret handshake. And we'll have to go get their luggage. Oh, and then after he drops us off, would it be a bother if I had him drop off the gun case at my abbey?
I can have him drop it off.
Awesome.
He just gives you a head pat.
If he's heading out of the way anyway, I would like to take the night at my own place.
Is your place
Oh,
attached to
morning.
the bar?
Yeah, it's pretty much like right upstairs with that. And
So Abby looks at you like deadpan. So you want to spend the night at a place that was already targeted by someone who, if they find out their partner has been targeted, might come back having already known your address and targeted it before, and you will just be by yourself with no other protections, with the possibility of you getting snatched and dragged off into the night and then possibly ransomed to get their associate back? Oh no, you're not going by yourself.
I don't see what could go wrong with this.
I'm gonna also throw out there that, because just in case it's been forgotten, but both Calvin and Abby know there have also been other vampires going missing within the Camp Morella.
Yeah, but she wasn't trying to toss that one out. She was just gonna be like, no, 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 no. You're not by yourself. You're with us.
I'm just
I'd
throwing
at
that
least
out
like
there
to
in
keep
case you guys
clothes,
forgot.
though. I've been wearing this for like 2 nights now, and that's one more
We
than what I
can
prefer.
swing by your place and get your clothes. Like, the driver is really cool. James is sweet. Like, he's not doing anything else today. He'll be helping us. And we can go get you your clothes. We'll be in a suite. Luxury. Okay, the Blood Roses love luxury. It'll be fantastic.
If he still wants to, I can give him the key to my apartment. I really don't care.
Nobody is staying alone. Do I have to scream this? I have a very great base if I really need to.
Hey, Mama Bear.
If he needs to, his daughter-in-law here could stay the night. I could sleep on the couch.
Guys, do you
Look-
not watch horror movies? When you split the team, people die.
Look, I'm the antisocial one, and I can tell you this is a bad idea. As much as I don't want to hang out with people, even you guys, I think this is a bad
Understandable with how
idea.
I was acting today.
Yeah, I have to let you know, like, when the Red Wizard says it's a bad idea, it's probably a really bad idea, because they usually think bad ideas are good ideas.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
So, okay,
So I've
Cal,
heard.
let's agree. We're just gonna go to our apartments. Like, you go to your place, I go to my place, just to get close, and we're gonna be back at the motel. Got it?
I
We'll,
suppose so.
we have a driver, we'll stop at each place, get everything you need, and then once we've gone to everyone's domiciles to get their belongings, we will go to the luxury suite and have a sleepover. It's mandatory!
We'll also go and help you get your stuff. Question your design decisions. The good usual things.
Listen, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Abby finally gets to have friend time, and this is mandatory fun time, and she'll just scoop you guys up conversations
I
over.
was just about to ask that. Like, I was really gonna ask her. Like, it sounds like you just really want to have another sleepover.
Yeah, it's like it's mandatory fun time, and she's like you can tell by her actions, conversation is over. She just scoops you guys up because she can pick all of you guys up without fucking issue, and just starts heading to the door.
Okay, Mama Bear says family bonding time.
Yes.
I can see why the prince took her as my teacher, because what after what happened just a bit ago, of me wanting to instantly carve runes into a nearly dead vampire, I can see why.
Like, Abby is terrible at trying to teach knowledge-based things. Abby is wonderful at instinct-based shit.
And look, I can give you an insight into his mindset for this. If you really want it. Or I can keep it a secret.
Nah, keep it a secret.
Okay, I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, keep it.
We'll see if it ever comes up, because you'd have to ask him directly at some point.
But yeah, so Abby scoops up the party, gets to the front door, waits for James to be ready for us. And if nobody proceeds to start walking into the van, she will scoop each and every one of you up like a piece of luggage and put you in the van if she has to.
Well, in this time he comes around with like a proper car. It's a lot like the vehicle that you guys took to get to the abandoned warehouse in the first place. The cabinet with all of the ammo has been transported into the trunk of this car. And if you go through the check-in, it's all there.
The comment remains the same. If it looks like they're hesitating to get into the vehicle, Abby starts picking them up like they're suitcases, and we'll just pile them in long ways in the back seat.
I would say that as Calvin goes to get in the vehicle, since he's still got the grenades on, I'm just gonna poke him and be like, pointing at one of the grenades.
Hey, is that one missing the pin?
And without missing a beat, I'm just gonna get in the car and sit down.
Well, if it is, we're staying close enough to a car to get all of us.
So valid. Everything would explode, and Abby be standing there like, damn it, this happens to all of my friends.
Not death,
however,
explosions.
To that point, though, Abby will undress your armament and put it in the trunk. Don't really need that going to the suite.
Nah, and there's probably a suitcase in there for it to be stored in.
At least the grenade belt.
Yeah.
The grenade belt is staying. So basically, yeah, to your point, we would say like there's a briefcase which would give enough space for Cal's desired shotgun, whichever handheld pistol we would give to foe. I'd say anything between a 9mm to a Colt 45. Though that would all depend on her strength, because heavier caliber pistols will require higher strength, and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to ask either. And then a couple of things of ammunition and the grenade belt would all be in the briefcase. Everything else could be stored at the Abbey.
I
And then,
will
of course, we're
reply
taking
with
all the
I could probably
documents.
handle the heavier caliber.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would definitely recommend something like a 45. I'll see what the different firearms are in the main book.
Yeah. You guys all pile in. You have enough time to stop by each of your individual places to pack up the things that you want to need from your private homes, as well as like, your clothes and things like that. And then for the Tremere, like any books you might have brought with you that you need to study with or something, because you have those magic books. And you guys get there just a couple hours away from midnight. He's managed to pull some strings to like get you guys check-in time way before when the actual check-in time is, because normally you'd probably have to wait till like 3 p.m. or something. But you guys can't really do that.
Well, this is probably also a vampire-run establishment, so they would know.
3
Yeah,
a.m.
That's
check-in.
why he's able to pull the strings. So yeah, you guys go to check in. There is a method for like Abby to sneak in. It's like the Nosferatu-esque route where there's like a sewer nearby you can climb into, and then the other entrance of the sewer goes up to like right next to the elevator that you can just kind of go in, and there's like no cameras in the elevator.
Yeah, probably links to the basement, the storage area. But I feel like you're describing the one hotel in the Bloodlines game.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's like a little like security storage room down in the basement that's connected by the elevator, and there's a sewer grate that connects. If you're playing in Nosferatu and Bloodlines, you can't really walk around the streets. That's how you get to it.
At least not until you like maximize your stealth, and then you can just crouch everywhere. But yeah, there's that route. It's like the vampire specific thing that's like gated off, has a special key card. Congratulations, you guys have a really fancy special hideout that you can all gather to, the shared coterie haven of sorts.
Sweet.
Don't do anything to lose it. Don't piss the prince off.
Does that mean I have to behave now?
Yes, you have to behave.
Oh,
Schmoozing means you have to behave.
you know.
Okay, yep. I have found the page with weapons, so when curtain falls, we can distribute weapons and their damage thresholds.
Yeah, which it is 11, so curtain's gonna be falling here very soon.
Yep, and Kira had posted that the Tum Tum is feeling off, so should
Yeah,
get
I'm
out
not
of
sure
here
what's going on.
soon. You just need to snack on each
Well, maybe.
Well,
Yeah, I missed that
caffeinated
message. But, yeah, so I will just describe the place, let you guys get settled in however you want. It's one of those hotels that you technically have 2 separate rooms, but there's like a door connecting them that you each have a key to. So you can't lock each other out of it, and you can also enter at any point into the other room. It's like Each one has 2 queen-size beds within it. It's got a lovely view with some amazing blackout curtains. Plenty of room for your stuff. Plenty of different wardrobes to put your clothing. Is a big space, big old bathroom. It's fancy. Very much so 1% hotel room.
I claim the nearest desk. Carry all my shit over to it.
And then for semantics, I'd like to think at like one of the stop locations, Abby would have left you guys to get your stuff and disappeared, and she would have flown to the Abbey to get something. And basically, she would have just told the party, "I will see you guys at the hotel." And then, you know, she's got her own little secret entrance to get up there. So I feel like she's already waiting for them there. And as they get into the suite, she's sitting at this fine, ornate table, because suites are massive. I've never, like, stayed in one, but I've seen pictures, and they're basically like apartments. And
Oh yeah, no, it's got its own kitchen and everything.
And in the ornate table that would be the center of its living room, she's got a beat up Monopoly board laid out on the table. The pieces are so mismatched. Like, some of the houses are Risk pieces. Some of the hotels are, you know, chips from other games. Because she's just kind of like tossed stuff into the box to try and make it a whole game, and she's got it all laid out and just stuff ready, and she's just sitting there cross-legged, like wings fluttering, like, bring up the game. Sit, game, fun, yes.
Also, much to Abby's delight, there is a TV.
Would she have known this? You know what? I'm gonna do a shits and giggles roll. I'm gonna roll, just intelligence. I was gonna say intelligence
check.
academics, but just
Okay.
intelligence.
Okay.
She would not have realized there was a TV there. So she would.
It's one of those that's like behind a cabinet or a wall or something that you push a button to. Like, she's seen the button, but she probably thought it was like a fancy light button or something.
I just mean, like, she wouldn't have preempted it, so she didn't grab any of the gaming consoles.
Fair enough.
But yeah, she's got Monopoly splayed out and ready to go. Some of the money is like real money that she's stolen from houses, but didn't realize that it was real money because she was just trying to find pieces to fill out her Monopoly board. And like, it's probably a mix of different monies, like from different countries, because she's robbed so many houses over the years. So there's probably like a small amount of money, like in this board game, that she never realized was actual money.
She doesn't know what a Canadian dollar looks like.
No, it's funny colors. She just thought it was Monopoly money.
I mean, that is a joke that the Canadian dollar is Monopoly money because of how colorful it is. But,
Also, they smell like syrup.
yep. Also, they smell like syrup. But yeah, we'll close in on that scene. We will call it for the end of the night for, like, in-game. You guys will play games with Abby. The next night, you guys are just going to be waiting for information, so you have plenty of downtime. So be thinking about what you want to do, and make sure you DM me things that you want to do during your downtime. For now, we'll do our closing stuff. We'll start with Abby. Or with Raz. Hello, Raz. Tell us, who are you? Where can we find you? Who were you playing? And also, what is one thing that she has learned or a character growth moment.
So, I am Raziel. I do stuff. Sometimes it's random stuff. Sometimes it's stuff that I just haven't gotten to yet. That said, recently you can catch me Mondays crashing into solar towers because I don't know how to put lights on my fucking ships. As I play Space Engineers with Pyrrha. Good times. At least the only real damage was to my ship. And I play Abby, the resident freight train, as we got to see tonight. As, yes, vampires get the half bashing damage, but when you damn near do double digits bashing damage, congratulations, half that bitch. Yep, she is the local gargoyle who doesn't like people but wishes she could be a people. And let's see here. Growth or have learned? Yeah, that's... trying to think of how to word this. She doesn't like being around people, not for the same reason Bobana probably doesn't. Abby is rather self-conscious about herself, and she's found people, and to her surprise, a couple of red wizards that don't really judge her, and as a matter of fact are actually in awe of not only her form but her sheer ferocity. And I know the other clans in the city like her, but it's usually for sport, especially with the Bruja. She feels like there is, in fact, some kind of, even if it's small, bond forming with these more normal-looking individuals. And I feel like she feels a small spark of something she was missing. And to that point, it's even said in the gargoyle lore, they need something to kind of attach to because they're a servitor bloodline. Whether or not they serve anyone, they're communal, and she's been alone for so long that this is starting to feel nice to her. Even if it's just been, hey guys, how are you doing? Let's go crunch this bad guy.
Now she has somebody to go say, let's go crunch the bad guy with.
That is true. She's also realizing how full her hands are trying to guide this young fledgling who was like, let's carve pagan runes on this pinata corpse. And she's like, fuck!
Gotta make a note of that to tell her about why this is not a good idea.
That's some Sabat shit. Calm down. We are civilized monsters.
So would you take that as a character growth or just a thing she learned? Or both? Because you kind of named multiple things.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of both.
Yeah, she learned that she needs to be a little bit more like in tune with Ray, and also character growth of like, I found my people. Found family is the best family. Anyway, so yeah, I'll give you 2 XP for that, so total 4. All right, Pyrrha, who are you? Who are you playing? where can we find you? And what is one thing that that your character has learned, or a character growth moment?
It's a good question. So, Impera, I'm playing Fovana. You can usually find me. I actually, for once, kind of have a regular schedule now. Obviously, we're gonna be
Amazing what
playing.
free time does.
What's that?
It's amazing what free time does.
I know, right? We've got like Space Engineers on Monday nights on Twitch. Usually you find me playing rhythm games on Wednesdays and Sundays with some other folks. And various things throughout when I have time. You can find me, I guess the best way is here. Oh, dear God. Sorry, I forgot that thing is so loud. Yeah, those are my socials. And, I played Filmana, who I guess today, I guess tried to... Everyone else seemed to be running in ready to fight. And I think at first the urge was for her to go in and kind of get out some aggression and bust some heads. But tried to figure out how to use the environment rather than, try to go head on this guy. Like, I think it was apparent probably to her that she was definitely going to be physically outmatched by this person. She's not weak, but this person is an unknown who took a complete headbutt from Abby and stood up. So that right there was an indication, hey, this is going to be a problem. So yeah, I think as a character she tried to just adapt and try to balance out the forces on both sides so that we had a little bit of a better shot maybe. And even though some of it didn't work out, it was a learning experience, I think. So
And I
And
mean,
then-
she did help guide him to the trap, because otherwise Abby wouldn't have been able to get him just to launch up into that thing. Not as easily,
Right.
anyway.
yeah, well, it have worked because like we tried to do the dominate and that didn't work, but that was a good, not only for Rana, it was good for me as a player to learn the mechanics of how that works too, which was an interesting thing to see. Yeah, and just in general, as character growth, I think she's starting to become more and more aware about how sudden and tragic, Ray's introduction into all this was. And I think she's starting to be a little concerned overall. And,
Also, she does have empathy.
probably changing her tune a little towards everyone, even though still a sarcastic asshole.
She does care.
Well, as far as everyone is concerned, she cares.
Fair enough.
So I gotta
But, yeah.
know, as a player to player at a game, how does Fofana think about Abby? This is for Rosniel's ego.
I mean, definitely, like we were saying earlier, definitely not someone she'd want to be on the wrong side of, for sure. That is a definite. she's definitely glad that she is, you know, an ally and not an enemy. I think she's still trying to figure out some aspects, but yeah, she's definitely a powerhouse to be reckoned with.
Get you if you've been saying things we haven't been hearing it. I just see that your icon keeps popping up.
No, sorry. I accidentally hit my mic.
You're good. You're good. I just want to make sure. So I kind of heard both the character growth and the learning moment. So I will give you the 4 total XP.
Oh, okay.
Sketchy. Who are you? Where can we find you? Who are you playing? And what was a character growth moment or something that your character has learned tonight?
Alright, so what's up, sinners? My name is Sketchy Art Demon, and I can be found here on Twitch at Sketchy Art Demon with the underscore in between each word. I can also be found on Instagram by that same handle, and as of recently, I'm also on Blue Sky. Pretty much the same, just with the hyphen. Also, yeah, I don't know if I already mentioned that I'm on Twitter, but Twitter sketchy underscore demon. And I forgot if there's any other socials. I think those are the only ones for me. Those are the only 4. I'm starting to get a semi-consistent schedule with my streaming as well. Of course, I'm with the crew doing this on Thursdays, but I've also gotten into the habit of streaming on weekends as well. Saturdays and Sundays, I typically do a Monster Hunter stream, at least as of late. I don't know if that will be changing soon, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff I do. I also do art, which you can see on my other socials. And as of tonight, for something Cal learned, learned a couple things actually. Like for one, learned that it is a possibility that maybe the prince is open to the idea of letting Cal get some information from this guy. Also learned we also learned how effective Abby is in combat. Like incredibly effective. Learned one of Ray's new abilities is that she has claws. And while on the topic of combat, I feel like that is a growth moment for Calvin as well as a learning moment, because going off that fight, he does think about that for a little bit, because it's like for him is like, sorry, I'm being really awkward right now.
You're good?
But just from the combat, he's really thinking about his effectiveness in combat and how he needs to either get really good at carrying weapons on him at most, if not all times, or he needs to like at least get better, at least a little bit better, and just straight up hand to hand. Because while he's aware that he's comfortable and capable of using these weapons, he's also aware that he's not always going to have the luxury of a weapon being nearby. So he might be the only person in our crew who's seriously considering Abby's offer about getting a little bit of training outside of work. Cal also learned that Abby is god awful at Need for Speed.
I'm sorry, repeat that last part?
Cal also learned that Abby is god awful at Need for Speed.
Gotcha.
She can do games.
Yeah.
Just don't give Abby a racing game. There's too many buttons to learn at once, and she's just now picking this stuff up seriously.
Yeah, and hopefully you have a decent budget and the ability to buy controllers on the fly.
Yeah.
There's a reason she has a Nokia phone.
As getting frustrated while trying to learn how to play a racing game, probably went through a couple of controllers.
I imagine a stack of controllers that Fovana has to fix for everyone.
They're either snapped in half, or there is an inexplicable dent in the wall.
We just need art. That's what we need. We need art of all of us in the room. I guess I'd have to be sitting there trying to like duct tape the controllers back together.
Just imagine, like, every time I crash a vehicle, like, Fofana hears a snap, and he's like, oh shit, not again.
It's been 5 minutes.
It's
I just fixed it.
It's okay. Crashes happen. That's part of the game.
But I'm so far behind in this. What did you call it? Mario Kart?
Oh god.
No, do not have her play Mario Kart. She would probably destroy the console. That game would be so frustrating for her.
All right, then do not get her involved with Mario Party. Gotcha.
You mean Mario Party?
You're absolutely right. I apologize for that lapse.
You're good. We just can't afford it. We can't afford the
I
copyright.
imagine Calvin stealing a star, and all of a sudden you just hear a growl.
Right? How many times would Abby have accidentally intimidated Cal, and that's the only reason she won the race? You just like hear this like guttural snarling, and then there's like, I think I accidentally crashed into this tree, Abby. I'm so sorry. And then Abby's like, yeah, I won.
Heck yeah. But yeah, that's the stuff that I've learned and the stuff that Cal has grown with for this session.
Alright, I will give you the 2 extra XP, so a total of 4 for tonight. Looney, who are you? Where can we find you? Who are you playing today? And what is one thing that your character has either learned or a character growth moment? Your mic's being weird.
I return.
Welcome back. You sound much better.
Yay! But a character growth moment. I want to do that one first. Is that Ray is learning that being a vampire probably is not bad with how she is as a person. But she's also learning as well that there are certain topics that aren't obviously going to be talked about. Like, let's say, stated carving runes into a vampire they incapacitated. That is something that she has learned she can't say. But I'm also Looney Tooney. I play Ray, and you can find me here on Twitch, as stated before, along with Blue Sky as Loontoon Lagoon. I couldn't be able to stream this, sadly, due to technical issues. But I don't have a schedule yet. I'm trying my best to get one down. But if you see a notification, good luck. Another character growth as well to her is she's still getting used to the fact that she might be the only shovelhead, but that is to only her knowledge. She doesn't want to ask Cal because that is still a sensitive topic, even if it meant that her quote-unquote brother or sister, as she is classifying them as, are technically dead. She wants to make sure that they're at a good level before she asks that kind of question. And something that she learned, well, is that she learned she could have claws on command in battle. And now she is brewing up ideas of how she can use this for stealth, since she is also realizing that she is very fast with her reflexes. And that's it.
Very nice, very nice. That is a bonus 2 points of XP. Sadly, our friend Jay will not be getting the bonus XP or any XP for the night, since the other two are for showing up and for roleplay. But he's not too far behind. If he gets too far behind, I'll throw him some bones. Missing 1 or 2 sessions shouldn't put him too far back. Do remember that we are ending a night, so your characters will regain a willpower if you have spent one, and you can spend any XP that you have gathered so far. If you want to. Obviously, you don't have to. Just know that you you don't get another opportunity until the next night ends.
I will keep you posted on if/when said changes are made.
Yes, if you do spend any XP, be sure to let me know so I can update the character sheets on my end.
I'll make sure, because I have been hoarding mine like a loot goblin.
I would really recommend that you spend more XP on your willpower.
Okay.
Please, God, yes.
You have so few willpower.
Will I need it? I am actually asking, will I need it?
So
You have to
Absolutely.
roll every single time you wake up from a nightmare. Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
okay,
That was
so,
part of why you were at a -1 for the entire session.
So that
Raiden
aside,
spazzed the fuck out, didn't she?
willpower also governs a lot of your mental defenses. As we saw earlier, Fovana's Dominate, her difficulty for the roll was set to the current willpower of the target. If somebody would try to dominate you, you would crumble.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no way, unless they throw all ones, would be able to fail that roll.
you're at literally the minimum difficulty that they can roll, and that's only because you
I'm
can't
a
roll out of one.
special case. I'm a
Yeah.
special case. I
God.
shall
Invest in willpower. I am begging you.
Okay,
You don't have-
okay, I'll go
you don't-
for this.
Look, you don't have to dump all of the XP into willpower. You don't have to dump it all into it. But at least a few points.
I
if you
will.
can-
At least I'll try to get up to 4 if that's the case. At least 4.
For this moment, at least 4, I would try to get up to no lower than 5 in the long run.
I cast Dominate on Ray and tell her to raise your willpower.
Roll for it.
There you go.
She's going to... It's at a difficulty 2, just so you know.
I'll roll for it. Let's do it.
Don't botch it.
Watch me fail. It'd be funny.
That'd be really funny.
It's gonna be hilarious. Wait, I forgot. What is it? It's
Manipulation, intimidation. I believe.
You're correct.
and it's a
You better
difficulty
not fail
2.
this.
Yeah.
You better not fail this.
The difficulty
I
set
don't
to her
see
willpower.
how.
The difficulty is at 2.
Oh,
Yeah, you are
man.
so dominated. Increase that willpower. You have to now.
you have to now.
Mr. Fuck.
I'm going to keep
Luckily, it's relatively cheap where you're at to raise to raise willpower, because it is 1 times your current level. So to get to 3, it'll cost you 2. To get to 4, it'll cost you 3, so on and so forth. And trust me, you will need it. Try to get to 5 or 6, just because 6 is average difficulty, so it will be an average difficulty for anyone trying to snatch up your mind. Because that's the important part, is Spooter over here is going to be playing some awful monsters, and they will absolutely try to twist us to ruin our plans, because we're trying to ruin theirs. And you're definitely going to need a mental flak jacket.
Okie dokie.
Look, while I want you guys to come out of this victorious, I'm not working against you. I'm also not everything that I'm going to do is going to be so handholdy. I did take some things easier on you guys with this. Now, That being said, you guys absolutely, completely, 100% overpowered this guy. I underpowered him, and I didn't set up enough stuff for a combat encounter to make it more difficult on all of you, and that's my bad. That being said, I didn't have a gauge for how combat would look yet. Now I do. I can be better prepared.
Send
In
all the
Abby's
strong
defense,
ones
she
to
sucks at
Abby.
everything else.
Look, send
Yeah.
all the strong ones at Abby, and then send the grunts to everyone else.
Pretty much. But, yeah. Yeah, I didn't want you guys to capture this guy yet, but you did. It's fine. I'll
Oh.
work on it.
You were
I
gonna
wanted-
have this
Oh,
like
no.
complete and utter like awesome thing, being like, I shall meet you again another day, and then he's just in a trap.
I wanted him to be your repeat villain, but it's fine. I have
Oh,
other
we can
I
escape
have other
interrogation.
villains. I have other villains that I've got planned out that won't be it's not that big of an issue.
I'm thinking he
So-
escapes the interrogation and becomes like this type of annoying villain that they know they can just overpower, but they just ignore him at this point.
And also it still works out enough to where I can have an easier method to guide you guys to the next plot point. Like, it works out. It's fine. I didn't necessarily want you guys to be this effective this early on, but it's fine. I'm not mad, I
It's
promise.
super effective.
And that
Vampires.
said, there's nothing saying that you couldn't have him escape after an interrogation was, done. Like, he can still be a recurring villain. He doesn't have to get vaporized by the prince. Shit can happen. Especially when any of his associates find out he's missing. If they have any knowledge of the town, they're going to probably know roughly where he's going to be. And if they do, they could probably do a jailbreak.
That's true. Like, this is things that I've
Actually-
considered as well. So, like, it's fine. Like I said, I can work with this. While I didn't necessarily
It'll
want
be
you guys to
fixed in
capture
post.
him this fast, I can still work with it. It's fine. This kind of thing happens when you're running tabletop games all the freaking time.
Valid.
Actually, the funny thing is, too, we managed to pull that off without Cirrus. So we
Mhm.
didn't have his roles and his, abilities and insight on what to do, too.
Yeah, because he's a damage output as well, with his little crackly
Yeah.
thunder pops.
Yeah, that's right. He does lightning magic. I forgot about that.
There
Pew
you go,
pew.
viewers. So hopefully next time we'll have Cyrus with us for a combat encounter.
Yeah, that being
He was
said,
busy being a pinata.
yeah,
Eh,
it's
hard
just
work.
he's a wee bit unfortunate for him, but it's fine. But all this being said, hello everybody. I am Pink Spooter, your storyteller, or as some friends have told me I should probably rename myself to, the Spooter Teller. I liked it. I thought it
Nice.
was funny. But yeah, you can find me here over on Twitch, and it's Pink Spooter, spelled with 2 zeros instead of O's, but everywhere else it's spelled with O's. I have a Blue Sky that Twitch and Blue Sky and my YouTube are all the things that I am the most active on. If you've missed any past VODs and you're interested in wanting to catch up with all this, go ahead and check that out. As of the time of this recording, last week's session is not open or is not up yet. But that's because I was having technical issues, and then I keep forgetting to download the video that people have sent me to help me out to upload it. So that's probably going to happen either tonight or tomorrow. Probably tonight. It's probably better to let upload while I'm sleeping. Yeah. Anyway, you can catch up to there. It's got a playlist. Hold on. Put it in the chat. Those are all my socials that I am the most active on. I thank you guys for joining in. For all of those who have raided, thank you for the raids. Do show everyone here some wonderful affection. Give them a follow. on all of their socials. You'll see me again tomorrow playing Monster Hunter, and then Saturday, I believe Raz and I are going to start Split Fiction.
Ooh.
Yeah, if we don't have anything else planned, absolutely. I know we didn't figure out a day yet.
I figured we'd probably do it either on Friday or Saturday, but Saturday might be a little bit easier because then we can do it earlier in the day and then just spend however long.
I know we were also trying
Oh.
to figure out when we're playing Contagion with Night.
That's true, but I don't think they're able to do this weekend.
I wanted to tell you guys too. I think in the Steam sale, Truck Simulator is on sale again too.
Crap,
And I
I've
know
already
every
spent
once in a
way too
while,
much money
Saturday
today.
nights-
I
I
spent
know.
too much money on video
Same.
games.
What simulator?
I think it's only $5 though.
Truck.
The American Truck Simulator. And I know off and on Saturdays, I know a few of us will play that on our server and do group trucking sessions for anyone that would be interested in doing that. It's basically bumper cars with tractor trailers. And
Oh,
we
it's not
kind of race
showing
each
us on
other to
sale
finish
for
the
me.
jobs. What's that?
It's not showing us on sale for me. Sadness.
There are. Maybe these are short term sales. Because I know that one was. And I was talking to someone about Atlas being on sale earlier and now it's not. Yeah,
guess they
it's not on
were-
sale now.
I guess they were short term.
Yeah, because it was totally $5 earlier.
I fully believe you. I'm sad
got-
about it.
Me and... Well, no. This is one of the games I got you.
No, I meant there's two games that Piers told me about that were on sale. This one and then another one. I forgot which one it was.
Atlas.
That are not. No, there's another one. We were messaging. We were in a voice chat.
Yeah, we were
Earlier
talking
today.
earlier.
Oh, earlier. Sorry, I thought you were talking about just now.
No,
Yeah.
earlier in the day. It was like in the afternoon. I was
Well,
able to
Space
sneak away and
Engineers
get on
isn't on
Discord
sale
for a little
anymore
while.
either now.
Yeah, it's sad. But
Luckily, I already
so-
bought all the DLC.
I did see that. The free game is Jurassic World Evolution on Epic right now.
I think it was Escape
Jurassic
Simulator.
World Evolution 2.
I think it was Escape Simulator, and I bought that game. So it was on my
Nice.
it was on my wish list, and you know, more fun games to either play by myself or with people to let people see how dumb I am, or like weirdly
Thing
smart.
again.
Because I'm either
I-
very
I
dumb or
play
very
random
smart. I
sim
have no
games.
in between.
Yep, same.
But yeah.
Oh,
I had a lot of fun today. Remember, one more time, if you guys decide to spend any XP, to message me what it is that you've spent it on. And that way I can update the sheet so I can work with you guys on what it is that you can do and help calculate rolls and things like that.
yeah, I might have to go to the gym with Abby.
What was that?
I said I might have to go to the gym with Abby.
Oh, hell
Work out
yeah.
some.
She will happily start the "this is how you punch things" training montage.
Time to hook Abby up with a bunch of like exercise gear back in her Abby. Turn one of the
Yeah.
spare rooms into a vampire gym. One of the many spare rooms.
Yeah.
She will just walk out. Are you ready to get swole? Well, that's a shame because our bodies don't change.
Yeah, you can't actually get swole. Not like in appearance wise anyway.
Nice.
Just fun. One of my favorite characters that I've ever made that I have decided will not be making an appearance in this one. For multiple reasons. Raz knows who the character is and about them because he ran a game that she was in at one point, and while I trust him not to metagame, I also don't need him to be able to predict things more than he probably can already. But like she was a La Sombra, a Sabat character, evil, not good at all. She would have been a villain, absolutely 100%. Who had the short flaw, and like her demeanor was child. So even though she was technically a full-grown adult, she looked very, very young for her age, and she played it off all the time. So she was small, like 4'8", wore this baggy hoodie. I'll post a picture of her later in the VTM chat or the art chat in my Discord. But she could pick up and throw a truck because her strength was so high.
Nice.
I like the tiny but mighty trope. She also had a stutter, which just made her seem shy. It was great. It added to her cuteness. Little albino girl that I really only made albino because I thought it aesthetically fit with the shadow creature. That's what
Oh,
Lasombra
yeah, I
are.
think
They
you
do
showed me the
shadow
artwork
magic.
for her.
Huh?
I think you actually showed me the artwork for her.
Probably. I probably have. She'd be small, like I said, wears baggy hoodies. Is albino. Is very cute. But oh my goodness. If I was to introduce her to you guys, she would have absolutely tried to like warm up to you and like make you think she was a friend, which she most certainly was not. And it would have just been fun to see if it worked, honestly.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
But now that, especially that I've told you all of this, I'm definitely not bringing her in.
There.
I don't know. I feel like Pavana, if she saw a kid, would probably try to kick them.
Damn.
I'd like to see you try it with Vivian. You'd kick her and she'd break your leg.
Just be like thunk.
Either that or immediately go running to one of the others with crocodile tears to get you in trouble. One of the two. It really depends.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Abby would just pick her up and coddle her, and then just like whisper in her ear, "But if you betray us, I will crush you."
Look at me like, well, why would I do that? Look at this face.
Yes, and look at this face.
They can't see that face you made.
I know, it's such a shame.
One day, we'll get you your own VTuber that can match your expressions to the T. One day. Whether that's we pay somebody else to do it, or I figure out how to get good enough. Whichever comes first.
Ah,
But yeah, I think that's it for tonight.
all right.
Cool,
If there's-
cool. Good session, everybody.
Yes, I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Was fun.
I think I'm gonna spend my experience to make Abby hard as fuck to kill.
I like that idea.
I assumed as much.
So, part of the actual Gargoyle Discipline Visceratica, level 4 actually hardens her skin to be close to stone. I get an additional die to soak aggravated and lethal damage, 2 additional dice to soak bashing damage, and I get to reduce all wound penalties by 1, and I half all incoming fire damage.
Which is great, because fire's bad, guys. Just FYI.
Fire mad.
And then there's an upgrade to it I can take if my fortitude is high enough. that doubles all of those bonuses. So I would get 2 points for aggravated and lethal soak, 4 for bashing soak, reduce all wound penalties by 2, and I quarter fire damage.
Yeah.
Abby will be like, "Ha! Those fireball. I eat for dinner. Ow!"
But yeah, to put a note as to how bad fire is, fire can trigger a fear frenzy
Mm,
just by being around
yeah,
it.
that would be bad.
Yeah. So like if there was like a fireplace in y'all's hotel, don't light it.
Awesome.
Duly noted.
If your courage is high enough, you can be around some fire. So, like, if you guys were away from the fireplace, we actually could have it lit, just as long as those with a lower courage aren't sitting next to it.
It's just safe not to light it.
So don't go near any kebab grills.
Probably
No
not.
barbecues.
Sometimes you have to
I don't
do
know
it to
who'd be
keep up
barbecuing at
appearances,
night.
though.
Yeah.
If it can be avoided, avoid it. If not, hope that you're
We'll
doing
cross that
fine.
bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Look, if we can't avoid it,
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Exactly.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Thank you.
Literally.
This bridge is on fire.
All right. I have to run, so I'm gonna go ahead and raid out real quick.
Who are you rating out to?
Winter, who is playing some Pokemon Nuzlocke. I think they're doing Pokemon Black and White. I can
following
hear.
them.
1 second.
I don't think I'm following them, so you might need to give me the tag.
Yeah, let me.
Give me.
Trying to get back to the last window here.
Can you send me a link? I'm not on Twitch right now. Can you give me a link? Thank you.
Well, that's the name, but
I'm still fucking go. I love Pokemon Black and White.
Winter is great. I hang out with them a few times now in the strays with the we did I can't think. Hold on.
It's late. It's understandable.
The yeah, when we had the strays community night, that's what the word I was looking for. In VR chat.
Nice.
They hung
I
out
need
a bit
to-
and did some stuff.
I need to post in the Strays Discord more often. I really don't do that.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up on. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of folks there. It's very chaotic.
Indeed.
It's also very easily overwhelming some days too. So, I don't think we really fault anyone. We're not posting there a lot or anything. It's just love, folks. And its job mainly is to be a resource, have a place that folks can come in and get support, talk to other folks, meet other streamers, find a place to collab, or find other folks to collab with, stuff like that. So it works. Third button here.
Yeah, I like the Discord. I'm just bad about posting in it.
By the way,
yeah,
I'm gonna be
I have my
all of y'all here every time because I'm about ready to scream "Hi!" in her chat right now, and my brain automatically went to damn. I say that, and every time I envision myself falling like Gibby, and then just popping up, sitting up, going "Bye."
go ahead and click the button here.
Alright. Alright, I see who have started the raid.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us, and for YouTube, if you stuck around for this long, I appreciate it. I hope to see you guys next Thursday. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.